city that was rebuilt takes on one of the architects of English football. It's Coventry against Tottenham. We are seconds underway here at Wembley, and Coventry immediately enter Spurs territory, far side of the field. That is the Coventry right, and Keith Hatchin is just jostled off the ball into touch over on the far side, and so many question marks, of course, in these opening phases. The biggest one perhaps of all: how will Coventry City and their lack of experience of big-time football measure up to these daunting few minutes? How quickly will they settle here? Well, answers to those questions very shortly. Coventry with a throw, 22 yards out, far side of the field. Dave Bennett can't get there. Mitchell Thomas was across quickly, and the ball is out of play now, and it will be, for the first time in this final, with just 40 seconds gone, a Tottenham throw, far side of the field, level with their own penalty area. That's on the left, and it's the long-legged Mitchell Thomas to take the throw. Looks for Steve Hodge, wearing 4, but very much playing on the left side of things for Spurs. A first touch for Ozzy Ardiles in the left half position, and with a lot of vision, opens up things splendidly with a 30-yard ball to this near side of the field for Chris Hughton. Another Chris now, Chris Waddle, his first touch, taking himself already halfway inside the Coventry half. A little chip looking for Paul Allen, but well read on the edge of the Coventry penalty area by Trevor Peake. Spurs again in possession. Hoddle being seen for the first time. Back to goal, trying to get the better of Lloyd McGrath, and interestingly, the first time Hoddle had the ball, Lloyd McGrath was just inches away from him, and all the pre-match speculation suggested that McGrath would be singled out to do a marking job on Hoddle. But Spurs have got a free kick, 5 yards in from the near touchline. Hoddle takes it. Richard Goff goes forward, the captain for the first time. And in the end, it's Trevor Peake sweeping it to this near side again. Chris Waddle on the ball again, going inside and outside of Downs. Cross comes in, and it's the Spurs goal, and it's Clive Allen. Two minutes gone in the 1987 FA Cup final. The cross came in from the right, and Clive Allen, who else, with his head, the footballer of the year, the players' player of the year, Clive Allen puts the seal on a memorable personal season with a headed goal for Spurs, their first attack of the final. It's Tottenham 1, Coventry 0. John Howe for the first time.
Great goal, Mike. Chris Waddle really was the fellow who opened it all up. I mean, he sent Greg Downs the wrong way on a little bit of a shimmy, down on the outside of the left back, whipped it into the near post. Clive Allen timed his run to the near post, absolutely immaculate, and knocked it in. I saw a goal exactly the same for Ajax in the Cup Winners' Cup final the other night, Van Basten. Exactly the same type of goal.
All the speculation beforehand then about how would Coventry handle these opening minutes here, while the players adjusted to almost alien environment really, apart from the three players out there, Regis and Pickering and Dave Bennett. This is Wembley for the very first time. The first save that Agrizovic had to make, and the ball was planted away to his left. Nothing he could do about it. A fierce header from Clive Allen. Chris Waddle delivering the goods from this near side, and Allen on the ball again inside the Spurs half. Mickey Ginn comes into it, finds Nick Pickering. Now then, what are Coventry made of here? Pickering tries to drift the ball into the area. It falls to Bennett for just a moment, but then Mitchell Thomas intercepts, and Steve Hodge now sets off on a gallop for Spurs, far side of the field. Hodge still in possession, waiting for somebody to help him out perhaps. Trying the long way round. Sticking tight to Hodge though is Dave Phillips, and Dave Phillips is happy to concede the throw. Far side of the field to Spurs. So what a breathtaking and dramatic start here at Wembley. We've played less than 4 minutes, and already Tottenham looking for a record 8th FA Cup success. Tottenham, who've never lost in an FA Cup final, has scored through the man who endured so much heartbreak in his previous FA Cup final against Spurs for Queen's Park Rangers, when he hobbled out of the action. Clive Allen has scored, 2 minutes gone, and the Spurs fans away to our left, making all the noise in the sunshine at the moment. It's understandably a subdued Coventry end away to our right, but Coventry have shown fantastic battling spirit throughout this competition, and Coventry are battling back now well through Regis, 30 yards out. Slides the ball to this near side to Greg Downs, the balding left back. Downs quickly across, testing Clements in the air, and Clements gets a fingertip to it, and Coventry have come straight back. They've won a corner.
Yeah, nice deep cross there from Greg Downs, got down this left side. It's a long cross to the back post, and Ray Clements really had to stretch to get a hand on it and get it out to the corner.
Well, John Sillett, the Coventry coach, was talking in midweek about the team being notoriously slow starters, but if they do fall behind, if they are stung early on, they've shown great qualities, notably in the semi-final against Leeds. The corner comes in from the right, far side of the field. Ginn takes it. Houchin can't get there. Coventry tried to blast a ball to Regis into the penalty area, and he couldn't take that one on his chest. That was a fearsome effort from Downs, and the ball has gone behind for a goal kick to Ray Clements. And my words on how the first time we asked you for an observation, you had to describe a goal. Hardly time to settle down.
Yes, a great start for Tottenham. I mean, really, if you're going to start a big game like this in the right way, that's the way to do it. If you can get a goal, it settles everybody down. Straight away, Tottenham have gotten their stride in midfield. There's a hell of a lot of movement there. Glenn Hoddle is pushing up and shoving McGrath out the way, letting Ardiles come in the back of him. Paul Allen's making a run and then moving out of it. The movement in midfield in this opening kind of 10-15 minutes is magic.
Paul Allen is robbed by Nick Pickering, but Paul Allen is again involved, a much underrated member of that Tottenham middle five, but a little bit of space now perhaps for Greg Downs on the Coventry left. Took a little time getting things moving there. Ardiles was blocking as Downs tried to find Regis halfway inside the Spurs half, and Coventry got the throw about 5 yards inside the Tottenham half on this near side. That is their left. And Greg Downs, absolutely shell-shocked, I would have thought, like the rest of his Coventry teammates, by this blistering start made by Spurs. Allen's goal inside 2 minutes. 6 minutes gone here. Spurs 1, Coventry 0. Another bad ball from Coventry from the back, cut out easily by Ardiles. And the chase is on now between Clive Allen and Trevor Peake, who's had a commanding season alongside Brian Kilcline in the centre of Coventry's defence. Peake won that particular exchange. And now the break is on for Coventry in the centre circle. Lloyd McGrath scuttling to the far side, looking to try and bring Bennett into the action. Over on the far side, Bennett plays a neat ball down the line, looking for McGrath, but superb anticipation by Gary Mabbott, comes in with a terrier-like tackle, take it away from McGrath, and in fact the last touch was a Coventry touch. And Spurs have a throw 20 yards from their own goal, far side of the field. Mitchell Thomas gets a lot of distance, looks for Glenn Hoddle. The whistle goes, and it's another push on Hoddle. Remember, the first goal came about really after a challenge that Neil Midgley didn't like on Hoddle from McGrath. The ball came across from the right, and Clive Allen applied the perfect finishing touch in the air, giving Gruzovic no chance at all. And the Coventry fans are bravely away to our right, trying to sing their Eton boating song, but this is a really bad start for Coventry in their first ever Wembley occasion. They're trying to come back gamely, and they've won a free kick now, over on the right, about 10 yards from the corner flag. And inevitably, little Mickey Ginn was contesting things there. A great spirit. Nobody sums up the Coventry spirit better than Mickey Ginn. And he's got that free kick over on the right. And Dave Phillips, wearing the unfamiliar number 2 shirt, is going across to join Pickering over there, over on the Coventry right. Coventry have got big centre half Brian Kilcline forward. Regis is running around trying to distract the Spurs defenders. And the kick is taken left foot by Pickering. Misses out Kilcline. Goff heads it up in the air. It's still in that Spurs penalty area. And Goff gives it away to Ginn, 25 yards out on the semicircle. Finds Regis. Regis is floated cross. He's headed away by Mabbott, but still Coventry press on the edge of the Spurs penalty area. A good period of play this from Coventry. Downs on the left for Regis. Back again with Downs. Halfway inside the Spurs half. Left-footed cross from Downs. Headed on by Houchin. Bennett's there, and Bennett, Dave Bennett, has equalised for Coventry. What about that for a comeback? Has there ever been a more dramatic start to a cup final in recent times? Dave Bennett, the man who scored the semi-final winning goal, which makes this occasion possible for Coventry City. Dave Bennett, who's been the saviour of the club so many times over the years when they were facing relegation. Climaxes a wonderful comeback here by the Midlands team. It's now Tottenham 1, Coventry 1.
All come from a dead ball situation. Coventry have had a corner, they've had 2 dead ball situations around the Tottenham box. When the balls come in, Tottenham don't look as though they can cope with Kilcline and with Regis and all the big men. The ball was never cleared from the dead ball situation. It came out to Dave Phillips. He got a shot in. It came out again to Greg Downs. He got his cross in. Dave Bennett got on the end of it. Just got a toe to it. Got it into the corner of the goal. Great comeback by Coventry.
My word, this is a thrilling start. We've only played 9.5 minutes. 2 goals already. And John Sillett, the Coventry coach, was saying in midweek, I think it could be a classic this. I don't think there'll be more than 3 offsides in the whole game. Well, when Coventry and Spurs played at Christmas, it was one of the league games of the season. In the match of the season now, as a cross comes in from the right, and Ray Clements showing a little bit of, well, uncharacteristic nerve there, spilled across, and the ball finds its way eventually to his near side, not for a corner kick, but for a throw to Coventry on the left. Just to repeat that when these two clubs met at Christmas and it was 4-3, it was one of the league games of the season. Now, in very much the occasion of the season, we're getting it all again. It's 1 each. Coventry come back through Bennett, and that will have pumped so much heart, not only to the Coventry squad, but also to all the fans away to our right now, starting to wave their sky blue colours. On this sky blue day, we've had a sky blue sky for much of it so far. A rousing start here at Wembley. It's Coventry 1, Spurs 1.
The midfield situation is one of the most interesting in the game, is that although Coventry are basically man for man, McGrath on Hoddle, Ginn on Ardillis, Pickering on young Paul Allen, as soon as Coventry get the ball, they're all breaking off their men and getting forward. They're man-for-man marking in a very positive way, and they are creating chances.
And Coventry very much forward again then, trying to apply the finishing touch to a free kick taken by Greg Downs on the left. Brian Kilcline again, strong man was in there. I think it was his last touch. The header goes just wide of Ray Clements' left-hand post. So we've played 11 minutes here. We've had 2 goals already. Coventry 1, Spurs 1. They played just over 10 minutes in the Scottish Cup final, and yet to see a goal there between Dundee United and St Mirren. Dundee United 0, St Mirren 0. Here, hardly time to really catch your breath, as Spurs now try to counter again. Far side of the field, a long ball from Waddle, just a little bit too far in front though this time of Steve Hodge, and nicely anticipated. It looked an easy thing to do for Dave Phillips, but every second will help his confidence, because Phillips is very much playing out of position today. He was expected to be a key member of the midfield against Spurs 5, but he is having to play right back. He has appeared there before for Wales and Plymouth, but he's very much out of position. Burrows has played all season apart from a couple of games at number 2, but now Phillips can get inside that Spurs half, because Coventry, about 5 or 6 yards inside the half and dead centre, have a free kick. Downs is taking them all at the moment. Tries to find Regis. Little high that for Regis. Couldn't direct it towards Houchin or Bennett, and it'll be, much to the Spurs' relief, a goal kick. Clements takes it short and almost puts Houghton in a spot of trouble there, but he managed to body swerve away from Regis and tries to find his man down this near side, but Coventry, who really have raised their game since that equaliser, stealing in it there again and pumping it back towards that Tottenham penalty area. Tottenham still deep inside their own half. A long ball from Waddle. Interesting. Almost finds Hodge. But there again, Don Howe, a nice bit of work defensively by Dave Phillips to get it back to...
Yeah, well, the point you were making about Dave Phillips, although he is a midfield player and he's been pushed in at right back, one of the things about it is it's helping out Coventry because he can push in on Steve Hodge. I mean, Steve Hodge is playing wide from a midfield position. So it's helping Coventry, although he's a midfield player playing virtually right back, he's pushing in, taking Steve Hodge, and he can break into attacking positions. So it's not going to take away the little good things he can do as a midfield player.
13 minutes gone at Wembley, and we've had so much incident already here. Tottenham scoring inside 2 minutes through Clive Allen. Coventry coming back 6 minutes later through Dave Bennett. It's 1 each, and Spurs raiding again now. Allen and Hodge between them, trying to play 1-2s on the edge of the Coventry City penalty area, but Coventry nick it in again, and back again to Steve Grizovic, away to our right. 3 times here as a substitute for Liverpool, so many times understudy to the man away to our left, Ray Clements, enormous figure. He's had a superb season, has a Grizovic. Couldn't do anything about the Allen-headed goal, but Coventry come back, and they're trying to find their goal scorer again over on the far side, Dave Bennett. They can't find him, but it's another Dave Phillips who has possession. Phillips again on the Coventry right. Offside though this time. The flag went up very quickly against the tall Keith Houchin. And Keith Houchin happy to give the ball immediately to keep the game moving. That's one of the 3 offsides that John Phillips was talking about, but I don't think there'll be too many, Don. It's not the game.
No, the 2 sides don't play offsides. You know, they're both the type of managers who want to play a kind of an open game and not squeeze up on the game. Keep the game so that people kind of have got a bit of room to get hold of the ball and pass it around.
The whistle's gone again. This time Gary Mabbott takes a tumble halfway inside his half against the powerful frame of Cyril Regis. Just a little bit too eager there, Cyril, according to referee Neil Midgley, and that'll be a Spurs free kick. Ozzy Ardiles always involved evergreen character, going across there, but this time only to, in fact, retrieve the ball. The free kick will be taken for Spurs by Gary Mabbutt. Versatile Gary Mabbutt, who's played just about everywhere in his league and international career, apart from goalkeeper, takes the kick, looks for Hoddle. Hoddle hasn't really got in the game yet, and he can't get there this time. McGrath takes it away from him. Breaks for Spurs, though, and Spurs, through intelligent play from Paul Allen, managed to get the ball just down below us on the Tottenham right. Chris Hughton didn't seem to want it, though, and he gave it straight back to his centre-half, Richard Gough, ginger-haired figure in the centre circle, and now a bit of space for Mitchell Thomas, inside left position. Thomas looking to try to arrow the ball towards goal-scorer Clive Allen. Not this time, though, but Spurs keep possession. Chris Waddle taking on Greg Downs, and although Greg Downs has gone down, the initial offence was spotted by the linesman there, a foul by Downs on Chris Waddle, and it's a Spurs free kick taken quickly by Waddle for Hoddle in the penalty area. Lovely skills, chest and then on the floor from Hoddle. Hoddle trying to turn, tries to screw the ball into the area for Ardiles. The flag has gone up, though. The ball is behind. It'll be a Coventry kick. Steve Ogrizovic gets the ball from the cameraman and slots it up for Coventry's next attack.
Coventry don't seem to have tied down Clive Allen. You've got Trevor Peake and you've got Brian Kilcline there, and I'm sure Brian Kilcline's supposed to be picking up Clive Allen and letting Trevor Peake be the virtue of the sweeper. But Clive's kind of getting them mixed up, and perhaps that's where that near post goal came from, that first goal. He pulls away and takes Kilcline away, then he moves back towards Trevor Peake, and he's getting them at 6s and 7s down there. And I don't think they really know how to handle Clive at the moment.
Record-breaking season for Clive Allen. Will it be a record-breaking FA Cup occasion for Spurs? 49 goals he's scored, and in fact, the goal today against Coventry means he's scored 4 against them this season. So when he scored twice, they lost 4-3, so maybe there's an omen. Tottenham on the ball, far side. Mitchell Thomas with Hodge. Finds Hoddle now, just inside the area. Back to goal, needs support. Finds Hodge, quickly delivered from Hodge. And deflected for a Spurs corner. Far side of the field. Glenn Hoddle goes across to take it, and Spurs leave the fullbacks back to look after Ginn and Regis. Mabbutt, who is so dangerous from these corner kicks, looks like he's going to make a late run here. Richard Gough is there as well. Hoddle has Ardiles in support. Over on the far side, the Spurs left, takes the corner, lot of pace, headed up in the air by Phillips. It falls to Allen, Paul Allen that is, 30 yards out. Stylishly back to Hoddle, a better angle maybe now for Hoddle, left edge of the penalty area. A short ball for Ozzy Ardiles. Coventry's tackling is tigerish, though, trying to close down, but Ardiles beautifully sets up Waddle. Waddle's cross to this near side. Is just going to miss out Gary Mabbutt, but he comes across to chase to keep things moving again for Spurs. Mabbutt into the penalty area, spectacularly cleared for Coventry City, and then Hoddle is floored about 35 yards out. Tottenham have an opportunity here to get many men forward. It will be their free kick. Hoddle gets up to his feet. On his feet a little gingerly. Such an important occasion this for Glenn Hoddle. It's expected to be the last time we will be seeing him in Tottenham colours. What a place to finish. Wembley. It's a free kick. Hoddle might be interested in taking this as Ardiles steps on one side. Waddle comes in and has a crack, and Ogrizovic decides in the end that he knew exactly where that was going. A whisker over the top. Didn't apply the fingertips there. That would have given away a corner. A Coventry City goal kick.
Yeah, nice free kick. Just a little bit too far out for his shot. He was kind of 10, 15 yards outside the box. You know, it's got to be a bending shot there. It's got to go in really in with power to score from that distance.
18 and a half minutes gone in this 1987 FA Cup final. Coventry City, a goal behind after only 2 minutes. Clive Allen for Tottenham, roaring back with an equaliser from Dave Bennett. Great sounds all around the stadium. Spectacular start here. 1 each. Coventry 1, Spurs 1. Ogrizovic kicks out of his hands. A long kick. Looks for Houchin. Gough goes in with Houchin, and then the ball breaks to this near side, the Coventry left. Paul Allen just digs in to beat Keith Houchin, but I think he was happy, Houchin, to settle for a Coventry throw. Halfway inside the Spurs half. The signal for Downs, who loves to take responsibilities for free kicks and throws, to take this latest one. A lot of movement for Downs. The man he seeks out on this near side is Nick Pickering. Pickering is just squeezed by Chris Hughton. The Coventry gain about another 10 yards down the line. They're now almost level with the Tottenham penalty area, and Downs again to take it. Regis and Bennett lurking far side of the area. If Downs can perhaps get a flick on from one of these long throws, Downs steps up, looks as if he's going to take a long one, then just throws it to feet for Houchin. Gets it back again, does Downs. And now Downs looks as if he'll miss out against Paul Allen. It's a bit tight there. He's trying to win himself something. Does get the cross in. Ardiles heads it away. And Tottenham get themselves in a bit of trouble. Pickering over his head, looking for Regis. Headed away by Hodge. Spurs not getting this ball away very well. Still the action inside the Tottenham Hotspur half. And Paul Allen jumping with Greg Downs has been penalised. And Coventry City have a chance to thump another free kick towards that Ray Clements penalty area. McGrath and Peake stay back. Brian Kilcline is lurking far side of the field. The Downs free kick is about 8 or 9 yards in from the near touchline and about 40 yards out from goal. Left-footed stuff from Downs. Looking for Kilcline. Kilcline heads it forward. Pickering goes in, just dabs a little header down. An easy one for Clements, and Clements doesn't waste any time in that Spurs goal. Underarm throw immediately for Waddle. Waddle tries a long, optimistic ball into the Coventry half, looking for Hoddle. Can't find Hoddle, but Ardiles steps in on the halfway line and is promptly brought down by Pickering. And Ardiles takes the free kick quickly. Looks for Hoddle on this near side. Early ball from Hoddle for Hodge. Hodge, it's a square ball from Hodge, but it's a fraction offside against Hodge. And a free kick to Coventry City. Coventry 1, Spurs 1. 20 minutes gone.
They still look very dangerous on those dead ball situations, Coventry. I mean, they're just knocking in. They've got 3 big men to aim for. They've got Regis, they've got Kilcline, they've got Houchin. And I'll say this for Tottenham. I know they don't play offside, but they're backing right in on Ray Clements. You know, anything that drops down there, the keeper hasn't got a chance. You've got to give the keeper the room to come out and pick up those crosses or pick off the headers back across the goal. And they keep backing on him. That's how Bennett got his goal.
Such a proud day this for the Midlands. The first time they've had an FA Cup finalist since 1969. They haven't won it since 68. And Coventry City are doing that region proud, and all the fans that have come down the motorways today to be here. A great fight back by Coventry, stunned by an early goal, but coming immediately back through Bennett. And Coventry throw far side of the field, a huge one from Phillips. Mitchell Thomas it was, who heads it backward. Regis dumps it in the back of the net, but pushing, I think, at the near post, signalled by Neil Midgley. What happened there was that Mitchell Thomas's back header was then deflected by Cyril Regis past Ray Clements, but there didn't seem to be any undue panic in that Spurs penalty area. I think they were expecting the whistle to go, and indeed it did.
Well, he gave a foul, but, one or two referees might let that go. And here again, another dead ball situation comes in the box. A little flick, because they're so close in on Ray Clements. A little flick, and it's in the net. I'll bet David Pleat's doing his nut down there.
It is zipping from end to end. It's everything that we expected it to be so far. Halfway through the first half, and to take you through to the half-time whistle now with Don Howe is Peter Jones.
Tottenham half, far side from where we are. It's 1-1, and the ball goes deeper into the Tottenham half, and Gary Mabbott, Mr. Versatility himself, who's had a marvellous season for David Pleat's team, lets it run on to Ray Clements. And Clements, only the 5th player to appear in 5 FA Cup finals here. And Tottenham happy just to play the ball across the face of their own penalty area. It goes across from Houghton to Goff to Mabbott, and now to Ardiles, who again has a new lease of life this season in the 5 midfield that David Pleat decided on. Goff, the Tottenham captain. Forward, Waddle. 10 yards inside the Coventry half, lays it out to the far side to Hodge. Tottenham in possession again. Edge of the area, the ball comes in. Not a good ball from Hodge. And Pickering's there in a left-back position to clear. And the ball still, though, inside the Coventry half. Bennett turns, just skips a little simple ball straight into the arms of the enormously tall Steve Ogrizovic. And the man he's learned so much from, and admits he has done at the other end, Ray Clements. Long ball down the left. Goff is there before Cyril Regis, again to play it back to rapturous applause from the Tottenham contingent away to our left. That's the players' tunnel end. Plenty of sunlight and a splendid start to the 1987 Cup final. Coventry 1, Tottenham 1, as Chris Houghton lays a long 25-yard ball inside the Coventry half. Challenge from Greg Downs, the old Norwich City fullback. And it'll go into touch. Downs claims it and has got it. And it's immediately below us down the Coventry City left in this first half in their blue and white stripes, the sky blue and white stripes and dark shorts, and Tottenham in the famous, very famous, all white. Goff, the captain, high, deep inside the Coventry half again, to our right. Loose ball drops. Picked up again by Hoddle. Ardiles, halfway inside the Coventry half. Trevor Peake comes in, thunders the ball deep inside the Tottenham half, but there's no danger for Goff. Turns, nobody within 20 yards of him, lays it out to Mabbott. Mabbutt holds the ball 5 yards in from the far touchline. A dream start for Tottenham and Clive Allen after just 2 minutes. But Coventry fighting back to get the equaliser through Dave Bennett 6 minutes later. It's one apiece, and we've had just 25 minutes of the first half here at Wembley. And Dave Phillips standing in for the luckless Brian Burrows. I understand he's watching on a television set in a hospital. He went in there for a knee operation, and only yesterday he still had hopes that he'd be there in that number 2 shirt for Coventry. It wasn't to be. The ball is inside the centre circle here. Peake lays it towards us, left back Downs. Downs just inside the Tottenham half. Regis, powerful and strong. He's come back after seemingly being finished at one stage. Down the line from Downs. Regis is there to pick it up. He's got 3 Tottenham shirts around him. He still gets the ball to Downs, though. Right foot from Downs, looking for Houchin. And Houchin's got the ball, runs away from Ardiles. Regis is there. Good tackle by Ardiles, though. Good timing there by the Argentine. And Ardiles, who's, we understand, about to sign another 12-month contract, lays the ball down to Waddle, and that's always danger. Waddle, with a little shimmy, goes inside Peake, then touches the ball back to Hoddle. Hoddle laying the ball inside the area. Paul Allen's there, turns away from the defender and wins the corner down the near side, and Glenn Hoddle will take it for Tottenham. Coventry City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Hoddle spots the ball up carefully. There are about 30 or 40 cameramen within touching distance of Hoddle. Backs away, 3 strides, hits it with his right foot now, high inside the area. Goff with a good header coming in. It's still inside the area. Ogrizovic is there, and he's tall enough. He throws a beautiful ball out to Bennett. A quick break here perhaps by Coventry. 4 Tottenham defenders are back, and a good tackle by Mitchell Thomas, but it breaks to the little man Ginn. Ginn a couple of yards in from the far touchline, the Coventry right. He's going at Mitchell Thomas, plays it to the gap. Mabbutt's there. Ball runs over the goal line, and that'll be a corner to Coventry City. Lovely break that.
That's where Steve Ogrizovic is invaluable. I mean, he's such a big man. When those high balls come over, he can get a hold of them and can catch them virtually without a jump, and that way release Dave Bennett down that right side, and from a corner against them, they're on the attack, and as it is now, they've created a corner at the other end. Terrific break.
And the little man, Mickey Ginn, who came in when Phillips had to move back for the injured Burrows, will take the corner. Tiny figure on the far side. It's one apiece here at Wembley. Ginn, a couple of strides, hits it with his right foot. It's high, dropping inside the Tottenham penalty area. And Goff, in the end, happy to head the ball over his own goal line. So it's another corner to Coventry City, this time down their left, near side. And in the Scottish Cup final at Hampden, still no score there. St Mirren 0, Dundee United 0. It's being called the homely final that. Not much glamour, no Celtic, no Rangers. But St Mirren 0, Dundee United 0. Here it's one apiece. And Coventry take the corner, high, dropping inside the area. And again, it's cleared before Kilcline can come in. Always likes to go up for those set pieces. A ball laid deep. But again, good regrouping there by Coventry, who seemed to me to have sort of got over that first 15 minutes of jitters at the back.
Well, naturally, as soon as they got the equaliser, it made them settle down. I suppose the player for me who's shown the best character is Greg Downs. I mean, he got turned inside out for the goal, for Tottenham's goal. He's come back, he's battled well, he's pushed in hard on Chrissy Waddle. He's got involved in the game, he's virtually involved in every attack that Coventry make. You've got to give him a lot of credit, because a lot of fullbacks would, under that pressure, having made that mistake in the opening minutes, would have perhaps gone flat and didn't want the ball at all after that.
And again, Coventry were defending at that moment, defending well. Hodge tried to get the cross in from the left, but Phillips was there, the Welsh international. He knows the taste of a semi-final, at least with Plymouth back in 1984, before he moved on to Manchester City. But now it's the big one, it's the final, and the first in the 104 years of Coventry's history. But Tottenham had the corner. Hoddle, wicked-looking one. Ogrizovic. Beautiful catch by Ogrizovic, as that danger man, Richard Goff, the number 5, was steaming in for the header. Ogrizovic calms everything down, has a long look downfield. Good cricketer, Steve Ogrizovic. And the name, well, he's a son of a Yugoslav coal miner, and had a wonderful season with Coventry, and indeed kept them in the game for my money in the first 20 minutes against Leeds, when Leeds really looked so good, and 3 or 4 superb saves from Ogrizovic. As Ginn picks the ball up, good challenge by Ardiles. Ginn lost his balance, and Tottenham take the possession. Hoddle, who will be chased all the afternoon by Lloyd McGrath, but he finds Ardiles. Ardiles almost gets it through the gap looking for Paul Allen, and in the end goes back to Ogrizovic in the Coventry goal.
I'll say this for Ogrizovic, and I'll say this about Tottenham, is that I'm a bit surprised that Tottenham is in far post corners. He's so commanding that it's easy for him to come out. In fact, normally at corners, goalkeepers have 2 players on the goal line when they go out to catch crosses. He's not even bothering to have full-backs on the goal then, Gruzovic. I would have thought Tottenham would have worked harder on a near-post corner.
Well, Gruzovic almost got himself in trouble there because he was 5 yards outside his penalty area, and Clive Allen's still there. The cross comes in, hits the side netting, but then it was a mistake by the Coventry goalkeeper. He came outside his own area. He had plenty of space, and if he'd been in doubt, then he should have belted the ball into touch, but he really tried to play like a fullback, played the ball forward. It was taken away from him, and there was not only a gaping Coventry City penalty area, Don, but a gaping Coventry goal as well.
Yeah, well, it's modern tactics for goalkeepers these days to come out and play on the edge of the box and act as a sweeper. And all he did, he was just hesitant on the ball. I mean, if there's any doubt, he should have knocked it into the crowd.
It's still 1-1 then, with a quarter of an hour to half-time here at Wembley. And Paul Allen going strong down the right just below us. Good tackle, though, from Trevor Peake. A man who played for Nuneaton Borough in the days when David Pleat was the manager of Nuneaton Borough. It's a long way since then. Waddle takes the throw, back to his fullback, Chris Houghton. Houghton to Ardiles. Ardiles outside the fullback. Can Paul Allen get the cross in? I don't think he can. Yes, he can. I thought that had gone over the line, but the linesman allowed you to go on. But Coventry clear. Not far enough for them. Waddle puts it onto that left foot. The long cross comes in, and the ball is cleared. He's looking for Allen, lurking down the Tottenham left. Ginn looking for the break. Can't get it because there was a good tackle by Hoddle. Ardiles inside the centre circle finds Waddle, big and strong. Waddle going forward. The shot from Waddle straight at Gruzovic. Didn't quite get hold of it first time, but it only spun away a couple of inches, and he was able to grab it at the second attempt as Clive Allen came in, who's got his 49th goal of the season, just 2 minutes after the start here at Wembley. Gruzovic, and behind him he's got that solid wall of blue and white Coventry supporters. Splendid noise here at Wembley with 14 minutes to half-time. Coventry 1, Tottenham 1. Neil Midgley blows the whistle and gives the free kick Coventry's way. 2 minutes after the start then with Clive Allen. But Dave Bennett 6 minutes later from a set piece. He was there quick as a needle, got the ball away from a diving Clements, and then spun away and put the ball into the corner of the net. Dave Phillips, the right back for Coventry, takes the free kick, drops it just inside the Tottenham penalty area. A little bit of confusion for a moment. Hoddle kicks it up into the air and then clears it. And now they look for a break. Waddle running deep down the right just below us. In the end, Hoddle decides to use Clive Allen, who now uses Waddle. 2 men up, 5 Coventry defenders back. Waddle still there, puts it onto his right foot. Tries the shot at the near post. Gruzovic read it well. And Clive Allen not too pleased there, Don.
No, he wanted the ball pulled across the face of the goal. I'll say this about Chris Waddle. Chris Waddle was under a lot of pressure then. I'm sure he wanted to do that. And all Clive wanted was he knew for a fact he got a touching on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Mabbutt touches it to Ardiles, halfway inside the Coventry half. Mabbutt's gone forward for the ball from Ardiles. Again, well read by Steve Gruzovic. Understudy to Ray Clements, of course, and Bruce Grobbelaar at Anfield for so many years. And here he is in the big time. And his wife producing a baby daughter for him as well. So it could be a great couple of days for Steve Gruzovic. It's 1-1. A dream start for Tottenham. Great fight back by Coventry. As their left back, Greg Downs, gets a header in. The accuracy was missing, but Pickering picks up the loose ball for Coventry. Bennett to Ginn inside the centre circle. Bad ball from Ginn, though. He had 3 men up there and played it far too heavy. And Clements comes way off his line and just touches it out to Chris Houghton, the Republic of Ireland international. Played only 10 games this season after a cartilage operation, but he was preferred in the end to Gary Stevens, the superb substitute. He was substitute so many times in Mexico, of course, for England. As here another England man, Chris Waddle, goes forward. He's going to try the shot, and that's going to always be Gruzovic's ball. He was 3 or 4 yards off his line. I think to beat a goalkeeper there, Don, it's got to be straight up into the top.
Oh, that's right. I mean, that's the second I think he's had in the last kind of 3 or 4 minutes. What he's doing to try and get a bit free and trying to get a little bit more movement is Chris Waddle's moving inside more into the centre of the pitch to get away from Greg Downs. And he's picked up 2 balls now in that position. If he hadn't took those long shots, if he'd have played a few 1-2s, he might have got in closer.
Well, he's trying again, Waddle. And this time he's tackled just outside the area. Neil Midgley says it's a perfectly fair challenge. Certainly Waddle went down with a thunderous thump. Cyril Regis has broken, and Regis is fast inside the Tottenham half. He's got Ginn there. He finds Ginn inside the area. The shot comes in. Great save by Clements. Oh, that was a superb save. A wonderful run by Regis. A pinpoint ball. Little man Ginn was there. Fired it in what looked like the corner, and Clements looked a master. Coventry take the throw. Back to the left back, Downs. Cross comes in from Downs. It's a bit too heavy, though. Mabbott's chased by Regis. And Regis has got the possession and plays it back to Phillips, the right back. Phillips, left-footed, inside the area, headed away by Ardiles. Tottenham picked the ball up. Clive Allen sweeps it out towards us. There's the man Waddle again. Waddle holds. He's got Paul Allen outside him if he wants to use him, but decides to go it alone. Now he does prod it to Allen. Allen holds it 5 yards in from the near touchline, the Spurs right. Back to Waddle. Waddle drags it forward with the inside of his left boot, then square. Cross comes in with the left foot. Cleared, only straight back out to Waddle. Pressure here on Coventry City. Ardiles to Goff. Goff back to Paul Allen. Inside the area. Kill climbs there to head the ball away for Coventry. Movement at either end here at Wembley, and we've still got 10 minutes to half-time. Oh, a good tackle comes in from Paul Allen, and that releases Waddle again. Waddle, now he tries the shot. That was about 15 miles high and about 25 miles wide. Not very good, though.
No, he's just losing his head around, kind of 30 yards from goal for some unknown reason. I don't know whether he thinks he's going to score some fantastic goal or not. But I mean, he's getting to a hell of a good positions, and all he needs is a final pass or a 1-2 or work the ball in a little bit closer, and he might cash in on this good work. But at the moment, I think he's just losing his composure. I think he's realising I'm getting a bit close to goal here, I better get my shot in. And really, he's trying from a distance that at this level you don't score very often.
Chris Waddle, of course, once the darling of Tyneside at Newcastle. Took a long time, I think, for the Spurs supporters to accept him. They've certainly accepted him now, and he's had a great season. But he's a little bit off target at the moment, as the ball is on the centre circle with that same man, Chris Waddle. Outside him, Chris Hughton. Hughton slides the ball down the right touchline. Glenn Hoddle. Last time, we think, in a Tottenham shirt. Turns away, puts the ball onto his left foot, plays it through the gap. Chested down to Ardiles by Paul Allen. Ball is cleared only as far as Mitchell Thomas, the marauding left back for Tottenham. Finds Hodge. Phillips will stay with him. Hodge still goes down towards the byline. Cross comes in. Grizovic is there and did well, I think. It was a wicked swerving thing to the near post. I think he did the right thing there, Don.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good job he's about 6'6" there, because Stevie Hodge has gone outside the full-back and he's hit a bad cross, really, that's whipped in under the near post. And he stuck his hand up and managed to get it round the post. If it had been a smaller goalkeeper, then might have just crept in the top corner.
So it's still 1-1 here at Wembley. And Ozzy Ardiles will take the corner for Tottenham, far side, down the left. Plays it square. And a chance again for Waddle to make a little bit of glory for himself. And he can't. Doesn't find the target again. That's 3 or 4 now. He's been nowhere near the target. And Grizovic, again, good goalkeeping. Calms it down. Takes the pressure off. Takes the heat off. Bowls it out to his left back, Downs. Downs infield. He finds Pickering. Pickering in turn, Ginn. And Ginn is fouled by Steve Hodge, who wasn't very happy about the decision, but there was no doubt in Neil Midgley's mind. Steve Hodge, who had an unhappy time with Villa after going there from Forest, and Tottenham very happy to snap him up for $250,000. Third seed these days, of course, as Greg Downs waits to take the free kick for Coventry, some 5 or 6 yards inside the Tottenham half, drops inside the Tottenham area, head on coming in from Houchin. The shot comes in from Pickering, and he was challenged by Goff at that time and didn't in the end give Clements too many bothers, but there was a chance there, a glimmer. Still 1-1. 7 minutes to half-time at Wembley. Waddle through the gap, Paul Allen, and he's got the ball. Downs will stay with him. Tucks the ball back to Ardiles. Ardiles runs away from us, then comes back towards us, plays it square. Hughton, the full-back's there. Hughton slows it down to walking pace. Cross comes in. Cleared well, though, by Lloyd McGrath, who's back as an extra defender. And the ball is cleared only as far as the ginger hair of Richard Goff, down the line below us. And Waddle will hold it. He's almost got the white stripes from the touchline on his boots by now. I would think he's hugged that touchline. Cross comes in from him. It's not a good one, though. But in the end, Coventry, where they were under no pressure, gave the ball away for a corner. There was no real challenge coming in from Clive Allen. That really was a mistake, not a deadly one, because it was a good 15 yards wide, but nevertheless puts them under pressure again. And again, it'll be Glenn Hoddle who will take it. We have 6 minutes to half-time. Coventry City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. In the Scottish Cup final, still goalless St Mirren, Dundee United. Short, they play the corner Tottenham. Back to Hoddle, this time square to Ardiles. Square, Waddle. Little chip from Waddle. Not good, too heavy again. A possible chance for Hodge, who likes that sort of ball chipped over the defender, but it was too far forward, and Grizovic in no problems at all.
Yeah, well, I suppose Coventry are leaving 2 up at corners, which is, nice and positive and a good thing about the game. But what it does, it leaves them short when they've got a corner against them on the edge of the box. So what Tottenham are doing now, they're starting to use the edge of the box on corners. They're either knocking balls out there or the ball's going into the box, being cleared and then picking it up from there. Coventry are just short, just round the edge of their dig at marking the corners.
As Tottenham have won a throw deep inside the Coventry half. And there's the old Eton Burning song, tumbling down the far end from us, way to the right. Words by Jimmy Hill. And it's a free kick. It's better than a throw for Tottenham for the foul on Paul Allen. Hoddle, hands on thighs, has a long look, hits it with his right foot. Ogrizovic comes and he's lost it. And it's there. And Tottenham have scored. Goff was there. Mabbutt was there. It was a fatal mistake by Steve Ogrizovic. And with 5 minutes to half-time, a combination of Mabbutt and Goff together. But Ogrizovic was deadly at fault there. He came off his line, he wasn't quite sure what was going on, and the ball crept over the line, in any case, before there was any necessity for Allen to make any more of it. And Tottenham take the lead 5 minutes before half-time, but a terrible mistake by Ogrizovic, Don.
Well, it's a mistake by the defence in general, really, Peter. Glenn Hoddle's whipped the ball in, it's bending away from the keeper. He's come and looked at him, don't know whether to come all the way or not. All the defenders, they've all gone with Richard Goff. He's missed it, they've missed it. It's hit Gary Mabbutt and bounced into the corner. I bet Gary Mabbutt didn't realise what he'd done. It's hit him, it's whipped over all the defenders, hit him and he's gone into the net. And of course, Ogrizovic has been caught half and half. You know, just outside the edge of his box doing nothing.
Well, I'm sure, as Don says, Gary Mabbutt didn't know what had happened, but it's gone in the back of the net. It crept in the net, really. And Ogrizovic will be very unhappy about that. He really was nowhere. So Gary Mabbutt gets his third cup goal of the season, and Tottenham take the lead. Certainly at a crucial time just before half-time. Paul Allen, deep inside Coventry territory. Hoddle. Lloyd McGrath stays with him as he has done all afternoon so far, but he still finds Waddle. And Waddle stands on the ball arrogantly. Why not, he says, we're 2-1 up. Touches it back to Hoddle. McGrath's with him, but Hoddle still gets the square ball in. Ardiles couldn't quite get hold of it, though. And Peake will clear. Now, are Coventry going to come back again, as they did after Tottenham took the lead after 2 minutes? But it really was a dreadful mistake by Ogrizovic. He came, went back, came again, and in the end was nowhere. And all the bodies jumping for it. It hit Mabbutt, and it crept over the line. Paul Allen came in at the same time, just in case it was necessary. But by the time he'd got there, it was already 6 inches at least over the line. So Mabbutt gets the goal. Didn't know much about it. He won't care about that. Neither will David Pleat. We've got 3 minutes to half-time here. Coventry City 1. Tottenham Hotspur 2. Clements, the Tottenham goalkeeper, away to the left, beckons players. That right arm, that gesture of his, get upfield, he's saying. And now the kick goes upfield, halfway inside the Coventry half. Till climbs underneath it for Coventry, finds Dave Bennett. Not seen too much of him since he scored the goal after 8 minutes. And the ball comes across towards us. McGrath's there for Coventry. Plays it down the line, but that's swinging anyway into touch. He slipped as he played that ball down the line. And it'll be a throw-in then to Tottenham Hotspur, which Chris Hughton will take. He knows victory here in 81 and 82 with Tottenham, and also the UEFA Cup in 84. So he knows the taste of success. Lovely little chip from Hoddle to Waddle down the right for Tottenham. Holds the ball, then just flicks it back to Hughton, the fullback. Hughton moves towards Greg Downs, the fullback. Hughton tries to go outside Downs. It's rather clumsy by Hughton, but he comes back to try and pick it up, and Downs stabs it into touch. And we have got 1.5 minutes by our watch to half-time. Not any stoppages that I can remember in the first half. I can't think Neil Midgley would add too much time on then. So it looks like 1.5 minutes to half-time with Tottenham leading 2-1. A match of great movement in this first half. Ardiles has won the corner by playing the ball in the legs of Greg Downs. And it'll be Hoddle, I'm sure, who'll take the corner near side to us. So once again, it's the Tottenham singing now that rolls down the end away to our left, the tunnel end. And Tottenham take the corner short, and they flick it back. Ardiles, right-footed. That's got to be Ogrizovic's ball, and it is. Just as Hodge came in on the left. Long kick from the tall Coventry goalkeeper, but only onto the head of the left-back, Mitchell Thomas for Tottenham. Bennett heads the ball back. The looks for Houchin. Good covering there by Chris Hughton, who's now in the left-back position. He saw the danger, but he then gives the ball away. And Phillips, the right-back, but Coventry's got it. He's got an awful lot of room to move in, and in the end has just touched it back to Ginn. Back to Kilcline. Long ball from Kilcline. Mabbott's underneath it. Doesn't clear it correctly, though. A chance here. The shot comes in. And as Pickering made the shot, he was challenged by Goff. So there wasn't an awful lot of power in the shot in the end. And Clements wasn't worried as we've moved into the last minute of the first half here. And Clements, showing his experience, says there's no hurry at the moment. We've got a girl in with a girl in front, and he refuses to take the ball too quickly. And then in the end, bowls it out safely to Chris Waddle, who plays it back to Goff, his captain. We're now moving into injury time in the first half here, as the ball is touched back again to Clements. But plenty of noise from both ends, even if Tottenham at the moment have a slender one-goal lead at 2-1. Ball far side, right back Dave Phillips. Phillips turns, plays it to his captain, Brian Kilcline. On to Ogrizovic, his goalkeeper. Bounces the ball once. Another long look downfield like his mentor, Ray Clements. And it's deep inside the half, and Neil Midgley's whistle goes, and the bigger cheer came obviously from the Tottenham supporters. So a marvellous start for Tottenham then.
The first Coventry attack. Get it back to Clements, but they really don't waste very much time in his penalty area. Clements delivers so quickly to the far side. And now a gentle, rather Liverpool-style build-up from the back from Spurs, involving their captain Richard Goff. A little bit tight over on the far side between Hoddle and Waddle. Ferocious challenge comes in from Greg Downs. And that really is going to be such an important contest in these second 45 minutes, because Waddle showed in that first half he had the beating of Greg Downs. And Downs, perhaps displaying early frustration, has been penalised for a free kick. Spurs then will take this a couple of yards inside the Coventry half. That's the far side for Spurs, the right. Little chip from Ardiles. Hoddle cushions the ball on his chest and then gives it back to Ardiles in full flight now, running towards the corner flag. Finds Chris Hughton, the overlapping right back. He's tussling with Downs. Looks to have the beating of Downs as well. Goes crashing to his feet. Play on though, says referee Neil Midgley. And Steve Ogrizovic emerges as a commander. And the ball is now in the meantime down in the left half position, down below us on the Spurs left. Mabbott with it. Finds Clive Allen. The two Spurs goal scorers combining there. Lovely ball from Hoddle now to Mitchell Thomas, just inside the Coventry half. Tangling with Dave Bennett, and some good defensive work there by Bennett. Takes it away from Mitchell Thomas. A midfield exchange, and then Regis trying to go through the gap for Mickey Ginn, 25 yards out, but Mabbott and Goff are there. So's Ray Clements, and Spurs set off again over on the far side.
One of the reasons that Tottenham are attacking well down that right-hand side is it's 2 against 1 against Greg Downs. A lot of the time is one of the strikers has to get out there to pick up Chris Hughton. Because Tottenham are playing 3 in the centre midfield, Coventry are having to play 3 in the centre midfield, which is tucking Pickering in. Pickering's having to get in and help out the other 2 midfield players. So naturally, Chris Hughton is free. And because Cyril Regis, who really is a centre forward, is finishing up, marking Chris Hughton in an outside left position.
Don Howe, England coach, our summariser for FA Cup final 1987, thoroughly enjoying this contest, along with the 100,000 crowd here today. Apprehensive early moments of the second half. It's just settling down again. 2-1 to Spurs. Spurs going in front, Coventry coming back, typically 2 goals inside the first 10 minutes, and then in the closing stages, that psychological killer goal from Spurs, though they didn't really know, to be fair, terribly much about it, from Mabbott. But now Coventry again through Mickey Ginn, on the right, into the area. Houchin can't take it, his first touch let him down there. And Goff was very relieved to be able to just shuffle the ball out to this near side for a Coventry City throw, 15 yards from the corner flag. David Phillips to take it, urging somebody to come and meet it. Houchin did, and gives it back to Phillips. Phillips trying to curl the ball into the area, can't get it over Ardiles' head though. And now Spurs break, and Hoddle hits it 35 yards for Clive Allen to the far side. Allen is motoring, right edge of the penalty area. Clive Allen tries it, and it's just over, and Chris Waddle actually made a late run there. He was looking for service from Clive Allen. Clive Allen perhaps didn't spot him, and he thrashed it in from about 22 yards from the angle, over the top of the bar. Goal kick to Coventry City.
Glenn Hoddle's vision and accuracy of passing. I mean, they've had a throw-in kind of just near their own box. Tottenham. He's picked the ball up on the break. He's come about 3 yards and he's hit an angle ball out to the right wing where Clive Allen spun away, and it's right in his path. I mean, those are skills, really. I mean, that's what the game's all about. Those type of abilities.
Glenn Hoddle imposing himself in this, his farewell appearance. He wants to leave the Spurs fans with something to remember him by. Well, Hoddle's Tottenham are just in front at the moment, but Coventry have a free kick halfway inside the Spurs half, and Greg Downs comes right across from the left-back area over on the far side to take this one. It was a free kick from Downs which led to the Coventry equaliser. This one, though, is central, 35 yards out. It's a left-footer trying to find Regis. Richard Gough climbs first, though, to head it away. And it will be, at the end of all that, rather tamely, a goal kick to Tottenham. Mitchell Thomas went across there, and he was pretty confident that there was no deflection from anyone in white. Ray Clements then slotting it up for a Spurs goal kick. 5 minutes gone in the second half here at Wembley. An afternoon which is now clouded over, but some real thrills and spills in the first half. 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. The Clements free kick picked up by Lloyd McGrath in the centre circle, breasted by Regis. It's a bit tight at the moment for Coventry, not a lot of possibilities for them, but then it opens up for Regis. Regis, seeing there were bodies in front of him, spreaded it wide to the right, goes for the return, finds Bennett now on the Coventry right. Early ball from Bennett to the back post. Houchin tries to climb, but can't direct it towards the goal. And who was waiting for it, as always, on the edge of his own penalty area? Ozzy Ardiles. Spurs now get it to the far side, just inside the Coventry half. Kilcline going in strongly with Paul Allen. The ball is out of play, and it's a throw to Coventry. No messing about either, taken quickly. For McGrath, centre circle. Regis now getting a lot of early possession in this second half. Good ball to this near side. To Peake, playing as a right back at the moment. Peake for Keith Houchin on the right wing. Dave Bennett now in support behind Houchin, taking on Mitchell Thomas, the left back. Oh, Mitchell Thomas keeping his eye on the ball all the way there. Took it away from Bennett, but then horrible distribution. Only for Phillips, edge of the penalty area. Phillips trying to put it through a gap for Houchin, and Mabbott just blazes it into the crowd for a Coventry City throw. But this is a good period of play here by Coventry, and the supporters picking it up again for their team. Away to our right, a Coventry throw then, about 15 yards from the flag. And Dave Phillips this time is going to arch his back and take a long one. He's going to hit the penalty area with the throw. He's looking for Kilcline, the centre half. Mitchell Thomas gets it away. Mickey Ginn picks it up and then tries to carry it to the far side. But nobody there on the overlap for him, neither Pickering nor Downs, and Spurs bringing it away. Don.
Cyril Regis wants to stay in the centre of the pitch. He hasn't got to worry about that right back break, and he's on the break now, incidentally, Houghton. So every time Cyril's involved in the centre of the pitch, Coventry look dangerous. He's got to stay in there and play that position where they can hit him. He's one coming up to him now.
And it's a nice layoff from Regis with the head, and then he immediately goes for the return ball from Bennett, but Mabbott was there for Spurs, and from about 25 yards in one motion gives it back to confident figure away to our right, Ray Clements, who made one superb save in the first half to keep Mickey Ginn out after Regis had played it through to him. Wonderful bit of goalkeeping that, and one of the reasons why Spurs, with 7 minutes gone in the second half here at Wembley, lead Coventry City, but only just. It's Tottenham 2, Coventry City 1, and Spurs with a throw-in just a few yards inside the Coventry half. Richard Gough comes forward to meet the throw from Mitchell Thomas. Plays it well to Hoddle. Hoddle's ball is just too far away from Clive Allen, and it's mopping up time there from Coventry's back four. Kilcline and Phillips between them. They get it back to Steve Ogrizovic.
Well, the game's opened out in the second half, just like the first half, very even, lots of room in midfield. Glenn Hoddle, Nazi's virtually being in control of this first 10 minutes. He's playing more forward than I've seen him play for Tottenham. He's virtually acting as a target man. Clive Allen's out of the game. Clive Allen's just staying way up, out the way, and they're all aiming for Glenn. They're hitting Glenn all the time, and he's setting things off. Young McGrath's got to get all of him a little bit tighter.
And Tottenham playing it just inside the Coventry half at the moment, working some nice angles, and then Chris Houghton spreads it a long way, 20 yards forward, and Paul Allen, aggression takes him there, gets past Peake. Paul Allen at the moment disputing possession over on the far side, about 5 yards from the corner flag, but Peake came back well, but then poor distribution sets up Spurs again down the right. Chris Waddle, a chance again to get the ball across early perhaps, taking on Downs and Peake, trying to get now towards the penalty area. Cross comes in, Allen goes in, Ogrizovic half spills it, and then gets it back off the floor. Well, Clive Allen, Don was saying, maybe just out of the game for a few moments, but then immediately trying to get it on the end of that Waddle goal, looking for his 50th of the season, Clive Allen. Remember, Clive Allen struck here inside 2 minutes with a powerful header to put Spurs on the way. 2-1 they lead.
Well, I mean, here again, it was 2 against 1 down that right wing. Unless somebody... good move by Cummins, that's why I stopped there, Mike. Unless somebody picks up Chrissy Houghton, the Tottenham right back. He's breaking down there, making it 2 against 1 against the Coventry left back. And of course, naturally, he then lets Chris Waddle go. He frees Chris Waddle, and away they go attacking again. They've got to do something and stem that right flow, that right wing flow.
Coventry have a corner on this near side, their right. Mickey Ginn to take it, all of 5 feet 5. Takes the corner. Regis trying to get there. Dave Phillips in the semicircle. Well, he has scored some magnificent goals. Most of them were shown on the television as well when he played for Manchester City. But this time he's over the bar, well wide as well, about halfway between the goalpost and the corner flag. So a goal kick for Spurs. And Spurs here, of course, trying to make it a North London double. Last month, of course, Arsenal proudly under George Graham beat Liverpool 2-1 to win the League Cup final. Well, Spurs also under new management this season are trying to take the FA Cup back to White Hart Lane for a record 8th time. And Spurs, just at the moment, under David Pleat's management, leading here by 2-1 in a really free-flowing, absorbing cup final. 3 goals in the first half. And who's to say we've seen the end of the scoring here? 10 minutes gone in the second half, as Gary Stevens, one of the Spurs substitutes, just starts to do a little bit of loosening up on the running track down below us. And Spurs, once again, playing it through their back four intelligently, find Chris Hughton in a lot of space over on the far side, the Spurs right. Waddle comes for it, goes round Downs, and a lovely ball for Chris Hughton on the overlap. This is a good bit of play from Spurs. A flat cross from Hughton. Clive Allen tries to go round Peake, and that was a really superb bit of skillful football. It ends with a corner kick for Spurs. Waddle, Hughton, and in the end, Clive Allen all involved. And Glenn Hoddle going across to take this corner kick. And Gary Mabbutt just says to Steve Hodge, you come back and I'll go forward as Spurs take the corner. Short. Hoddle, in fact, is looking for Gary Mabbutt, but Brian Kilcline, off balance, just manages to take it away from Mabbutt in the air. Spurs, though, come again. Hodge, left edge of the penalty area. Hodge perhaps going to try and squeeze it in from an angle, but he can't get round Brian Kilcline. And Spurs, having just won a corner far side of the field on the right, now come to this near side, and that's the signal for Chris Waddle to try his luck. Down the Spurs left with a corner kick. Mabbutt has stayed up there ever since that original corner kick. Richard Gough is there too. Clive Allen is just a couple of yards away from Ogrizovic, and Waddle's corner is with the left foot. Ogrizovic doesn't come for it, allows Kilcline to head it away. Hoddle trying to get in on the edge of the penalty area, but Coventry breaks smartly, and they push the ball into the Spurs half for Mickey Ginn, far side of the field, playing as a left winger at the moment. Ginn trying to tease Mitchell Thomas, and still looking strong, but then in the end he just overran it slightly. And Mitchell Thomas coolly for our dealers, and then it's the midfield working sweetly again for Spurs, until Greg Downs steps in and just takes it away this time from Paul Allen. Had the opportunity of giving it back there to Ogrizovic, but Coventry behind, and they have to come forward, and they do through Downs. Regis tussling with Ardiles, and the referee, who's only ever a yard or so away from the action, awards Coventry City a free kick. 5 or 6 yards inside the Spurs half now, and Greg Downs, of course, to take it yet again for Coventry. Just 2 men back in the centre circle. Downs with the free kick, looking for Houchin. Houchin flicks it on. Kilcline is there too, and Clements 3 yards out, holds comfortably and keeps the game moving again. And that was another little flick on from Houchin from a Downs free kick, just like the first one when Coventry scored, only this time Tottenham able to gather it safely. Coventry will this time just be caught offside. Well, typical of the game, the linesman's flag went up for what would have been an offside, but Spurs had the possession, and Neil Midgley very sensibly waves play on, and Spurs keep moving forward, all in white. Far side of the field, Chris Waddle teasing Downs again. Waddle hits it then quickly, rifle bullet through for Hodge, right edge of the penalty area. Nice scrambling back though by Coventry City. Ogrizovic can dribble the ball out towards the edge of his penalty area. We've played 13 minutes of the second half. It's just the way that it was at half-time. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Coventry City 1. Spurs the overwhelming favourites, but Coventry the form horses, and it really is an absorbing contest here, as this time play will be pulled up for offside against Coventry City. Free kick to Spurs, Richard Gough about to take. Here's Don Howe again.
They've got to do something about Cyril Regis, Coventry. He keeps having to pull out to that kind of left wing to look after the right back. They can't expect him to be up the middle, being a target man, playing off him, expect him to get in the box and try and get the equalising goal, and expect him to play outside left as well and chase the right back. I mean, to be honest, the balance would be a lot better if Houchin went out there and did some of that spade work down there, because I'm sure that Cyril's a a lot more dangerous down the middle of the park.
Cyril Regis, who the centre forward, scores so many goals from distance, of course. He's not the type of guy you see nicking them in from 2 or 3 yards. Such a weapon to have in the side, but apart from that one moment where he opened things up and found Gin in the first half, he's been fairly quiet today, and it's Spurs then leading here by 2-1 with 14 minutes gone of the second half. And what do Spurs do now? Do they try to go for the knockout? Do they try to kill it off completely and make it 3-1, or with the clock already seconds going by, of course, do they hang on here and try to make it 2-1? Do they try and make it comfortable as the sun tries to break through again? Spurs on the ball, far side of the field. And Spurs just at the moment happy to play keep ball through the back four. Mabbott brings it now to this near side for Mitchell Thomas. No signal yet for substitutions, but perhaps we'll see them as we enter the last half an hour of what is always a very, very tiring afternoon's work for professional footballers here at Wembley. 2-1 to Spurs, and Spurs still at the moment just playing it through the back four. Ray Clements looks interested coming to the penalty spot, but Spurs ignoring him, and they just transfer it to the far side. A flat ball this time from Houghton for Clive Allen. Nice bit of skill on the floor from Clive Allen, but then Trevor Peake comes back at him. A little bit of arm wrestling, a couple of half Nelsons or whatever. Nick McManus stuff. How will the referee sort that one out? I don't know who was the guilty one for. He decided that Clive Allen was the first to be aggressive. Coventry take the free kick quickly. Cyril Regis heads it forward to Bennett. Problems here for Spurs as Jim picks it up, and Jim couldn't quite find the elevation with the cross, and Richard Gough was able to climb in the air. Important interception that for Spurs as Coventry broke so quickly from that farcical situation over the free kick. They almost exploited that, did Coventry there, with the crowd being amused. Still no score, by the way, in the Scottish Cup final between Dundee United and St Mirren. Here we've been privileged to see 3 goals. Spurs lead Coventry 2-1. The latest Coventry attack is thwarted, and then Spurs set up Paul Allen in yards and yards of space over on the far side. He's now already halfway inside the Coventry City half. Steps over the ball and allows Ardiles to come in. Ardiles for Clive Allen, and Clive Allen almost setting up cousin Paul there, but nicely anticipated by Brian Kilcline, and Coventry's chance to put things together again down below us on their right. Dave Phillips, a long, hopeful ball for Regis. It runs off Mabbott to Bennett, but there are 4 Spurs players around Bennett, and Bennett in the end is rescued by the whistle because Neil Midgley has awarded Coventry a free kick, a foot or so inside the Spurs half, on their right. And Dave Phillips to take it. Dave Phillips deputising it right back for Brian Burrows, who, the unfortunate fellow, had to have an operation yesterday and misses the final. Free kick is taken by Phillips. Regis tangling in the air with Goss. Spurs just whack it to the far side for Chris Waddle, and now there's a bit of a sprint on with Chris Waddle trying to go round Downs and Peake, but he can't show the sort of acceleration that Daley Thompson was showing earlier on in the kickabout before the game when we had the showbiz match, and Waddle is thwarted as Brizovic has the ball.
I just wonder what would happen if Coventry was to switch Dave Bennett. Stick him on the left wing. Let him look after Houghton. Let him attack Houghton. That would put Houghton.
And Bennett this time is on the right, and Bennett cross has found Keith Houchin's head, and Keith Houchin, Coventry City's Roy of the Rovers, has equalised here in the most dramatic fashion at Wembley. Keith Houchin, the man who has the knack of scoring FA Cup goals, some priceless ones this season, to beat Manchester United. We remember the goals too, which beat Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds. And now with 18 minutes gone in the sunshine at Wembley, it's back in the melting pot again. It's Coventry 2, Spurs 2, Keith Houchin.
Virtually a replica of Tottenham's opening goal. Nice attack. Whipped into the near post. Gets there first. Gets it in on the target and scores. Good goal.
Well, we had Don Howe just moments before that suggesting that Dave Bennett should perhaps try his luck on the left. Well, there was Dave Bennett on the right. Scorer of Coventry's first goal. Creator of Coventry's second. And my word, what a rousing finale we're going to have now to this 1987 final. Coventry City 2, Spurs 2. Keith Houchin, the equalising goal. And a Coventry free kick now, 10 yards into the near touchline. Halfway inside the Spurs half, and it's Phillips with it. Looking for Regis. Regis climbs high. How will they sort that one out? There were so many people airborne. It's gone behind the Spurs goal. And it will be a Tottenham Hotspur goal kick. Well, in the build-up to this final, Keith Houchin said, the only thing I've ever won in my life was a chip butty eating competition. Never won anything at all in football. And he says if he wins the winner's medal, he's going to hang it outside his front door in a glass showcase. Well, if Coventry go on to do that, he would have played his part, no doubt about that. 2-2, and listen to the Coventry fans now. Greg Downs on the left, far side, blasts the ball into the Spurs half. And Spurs, perhaps, I don't know, what did you think, Don? Perhaps starting to become just a wee bit casual.
Yeah, well, I think he controlled the game since the start of the second. Again, really, Dave Betts hasn't done it.
Spurs regroup at the back again. Anxious moments now, having just conceded a goal. And Spurs find Chris Hughton over on the far side. He in turn picks up Glenn Hoddle. Hoddle looked to try and change direction, but then his way to this near side was blocked. But what a great ball to find Hughton on the right for Spurs. Paul Allen now steps in, tussling with Trevor Peake over on the far side. Right from the start, we've had some great stuff here. 4 goals, 2-2. Cross comes in from the right. Mitchell Thomas, the left back, was trying to get in on the end of it. But Dave Bennett, well, having scored a goal and having made a goal, now playing as a right back, concedes the corner kick on this near side. Glenn Hoddle to take it. We have played nearly 21 minutes of the second half here at Wembley. Coventry City back again. Another great comeback from John Sillett's team. Glenn Hoddle's corner. Looks for Richard Goff. Richard Goff can't get there. And a foul as the linesman's flag goes up over on the far side, indicated. And that'll be a free kick to Coventry City. And I just wonder now whether substitutes might play a part in these closing 22-23 minutes. Nico Clarkson and Gary Stevens are available to David Pleat for Spurs. The more inexperienced Steve Sedgley and Graham Rodger for Coventry. And the blue and white flags, the Coventry City songs all around Wembley, as Coventry might kill it off here because Houchin's in the area, tussling with Thomas. And Houchin always under pressure and off balance. His cross falls straight into Ray Clement's tummy. And Spurs, as they must do now, accelerate quickly on the break. Hoddle, long ball to Steve Hodge, back to goal, trying to make life difficult in that penalty area for Phillips. Paul Allen now steps in, but he can't get round David Phillips. His tackling was crisp. And the ball is about 5 yards from the corner flag on this near side as we approach the halfway point of the second half. Glenn Hoddle lining himself up to take this Spurs throw. A mixture of sunshine and cloud, but some sparkling football here at Wembley. 2-2. Who's going to be brave enough to take it now in normal time? Hoddle, cross comes in. Klein heads it away, but only as far as Ardiles, on the edge of the Spurs penalty area. Mitchell Thomas now is in the area, yet again. Mitchell Thomas playing as a forward at the moment. And he's won himself a corner kick. Spurs corner kick then. Here to describe it again, Peter Jones with Don now.
Ardiles to Hoddle. Cross comes in from Hoddle. Ball cleared, not far enough as far as Coventry are concerned. Waddle's got it. Lays it right. Just 5 yards outside the Coventry penalty area. Paul had a little quick 1-2 with Hodge. Hodge keeps it though, turns, tries the shot. It's deflected. Ball played through the gap in the end by Waddle. Not at all what he intended. Goes 10 yards wide. And Steve Ogrizovic will spot the ball up. So 2 fighting comebacks here by Coventry City. And remember, they've had a good run in here to Wembley. Tottenham, without any doubt, the favourites at the start. In everybody, I think, outside North London. But Coventry have had a good run in. They've lost only once in 8 games since they beat Leeds in the semi-final. They're the form side. It's 2-2 here. And it's magnificent stuff. Whistle goes, free kick to Tottenham. And Ardiles will just do it, I think, give it short to Richard Goff, or will he play it forward? But he brings the ball up another 5 yards and leaves it to Goff. 5 yards or so inside the Tottenham half. That's to our right. It's 2-2 here. Ball laid wide, and the ever-ready Waddle is there, yard in from the far touchline. Waddle plays the ball through the gap. Hoddle. Paul Allen inside the Coventry penalty area. A cross comes into the near post. Ogrizovic was there. And then again, Don, almost to repeat what you were saying in the first half, the second goal, and Coventry are a foot higher again.
Yes, they are. Yes, it's lifted them. I agree with what Mike was talking about, the pace of the game affecting 1 and 2. I've noticed 1 or 2 stockings have come down to ankles. Uchin, Nick Pickering on the Coventry side, Ozzy Ardillas on the Tottenham side. It will be interesting to see whether David Pleat does leave Ozzy on for the whole of the 90 minutes.
Here's Houchin, the hero for Coventry with that equaliser. Ball laid wide. There's Bennett, the man who laid the ball on for Houchin. Mitchell Thomas takes no chances, plays it into the touch. Bennett takes the throw down the Coventry right, finds Phillips the right back. Ball inside, the header comes in. Clements is there, and that was almost a blueprint again. A lovely cross coming in, and Bennett showing more and more form now down the right, looking for the 2 tall men, Pickering and Houchin. And Clements diving away low to his left, smothered it in the end. Long clearance from Clements, high into the sky, deep inside the Coventry half. Excellent Trevor Peake underneath it and clears. Far side to Downs, the left back, onto the chest of Cyril Regis inside the centre circle. Plays the ball wide towards us. Phillips, the right back, finds Bennett, inches in from the near touchline. Back to Phillips. 40-yard ball from Phillips. Regis held the ball down to Gin. Gin going forward. Plays the ball to Regis on the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Can he get the shot? And he can't, but he slides it to Bennett. Bennett just outside the Spurs penalty area. Mitchell Thomas stays with him. The cross comes in. It's far to the far post. McGrath has to run after it. And he's beaten Waddle, I think he has. Plays it back to Downs. Severe pressure on Tottenham now. Cross comes in. Mitchell Thomas heads it away. Bennett's there though. Picks it up for Coventry. Goes down the line. Chased by Paul Allen. Cross comes in. Half-headed away. And Goff in desperation clears the ball for a corner.
He's come good, Dave Bennett. Nobody would expect he's hardly been in the game. He's got a goal, he's got an assist, and yet he hasn't been in the game. Barring this last 10-15 minutes, he's come to life, and he looks as though he could win the game for Coventry.
Mickey Ginn stands on the ball then in the corner quadrant down the Coventry right. Bennett's alongside him. He wants to play it short. He plays it long, high to the far post, looking for Kilcline. Regis gets the header in. Not really enough power though. And Clements, a man of his experience, certainly his experience at Wembley, was not bothered with that. But it's really been a marvellous cup final, this. Wonderful stuff. And Spurs twice in the lead, the first time dramatically after only 2 minutes with Clive Allen getting his 49th goal of the season. But Coventry have come back twice, deservedly so. And with 26 minutes gone into the second half, we don't want to see the end of this one. High entertainment, lots of skill, and just the open game I think we all expected. As Coventry have for the possession, McGrath, loose ball, little Gin through the gap, then looking for Houchin. And Houchin and Pickering now, as Don was saying, stockings round the ankles, a sure sign perhaps of a little fatigue, and who will deny them that? Waddle on a run, strong, far side down the Tottenham right. Gin comes back as an extra defender. Downs goes back too. Still Waddle though keeps the possession. He's got his fullback Houghton behind him. Goes to play it to Houghton, then leaves Houghton on his own and plays it through the gap to Hodge instead. Hodge inside the Coventry penalty area. Cross comes in, ball headed away. They were looking for Clive Allen, but Kilcline read that well. But the loose ball's picked up by Hoddle, chased again, this time by Bennett. And Hoddle still gets the ball through Kilcline, steady as a rock for Coventry, plays it forward. Coventry take the possession. Mitchell Thomas comes in with a splay tackle, and this time he gets back. He's got a little bit more strength, I think, than Houchin. And fitness could tell now in the last 18 minutes or so of this final. Paul Allen down the left for Tottenham. Starts to move infield, ball on his right foot. Tries the shot. Awful. Worries the photographers, but doesn't worry Steve Grizovic one bit. And he's hurrying across to get the ball from the ball boy. Away there to the left. Coventry 2, Tottenham 2 here in the 87 Cup final. And it's going to be very interesting, as Don Howe was saying, to see whether substitutes now can play a part in the last 17 minutes or so of this game. All four are doing a bit of warming up just below us on the running track. Graham Rodgers, Steve Sedgley for Coventry, and Gary Stevens and the Belgian international Nico Klaassen for Tottenham Hotspur. 2-2, ball inside the centre circle. Waddle, I should say, and down he goes, spinning to the ground, and that hurt a little bit. And I think he'll need a little bit of attention from John Sheridan, the Tottenham physiotherapist.
Keith Houchin looks absolutely shattered at the moment. He's hardly moving. He's finding it hard just to get a trot. I suppose Coventry have got to think in terms of whether they'll... He is capable of doing exactly what he did for the equaliser, get his head on the end of a cross, and I suppose really that's what they're leaving him on there to do. But his general kind of performance now has dropped because he is tired out.
Yes, Keith Houchin has been around a bit, Hartlepool and Orient, and then up to York, where he had his name in lights, unless you are an Arsenal supporter. When he knocked out Arsenal 2 seasons ago up there on a freezing day, I remember, with a last-minute penalty. Then he tried his luck at Scunthorpe, and here he is at Coventry. And as Don was saying, he looks, not surprisingly, very, very tired, but do the two Coventry men, George Curtis, the managing director, and John Sillett, the chief coach, who've done so much, of course, for Coventry's great run this season, do they back on Houchin, or do they throw in one of the reserves? Well, Waddle's back on his feet, and up at Hampden Park, still no goals there. It's still St Mirren 0, Dundee United 0. Plenty of goals here, 4 shared 2 apiece by Coventry and Tottenham take the free kick for the foul on Waddle. Ball is clear, not far. Ardiles is back, goes forward, plays it through the gap. Hoddle's there. And as the challenge came in from Mabbott, the ball was clear, and he as far as Paul Allen. And Allen again has got his right back, Houghton, to help him out. A couple of yards in from the far touchline. Not a good ball from him, though. Peak clears only as far as Waddle, and again it's the white shirts of Tottenham in the possession with exactly 15 minutes to go of the 1987 FA Cup final. Mitchell Thomas plays the ball down the left touchline, chunky figure of Hodge. Back to Thomas, tall. Long ball from him, chested on the edge of the area by Hoddle. McGrath goes with him. Played through the gap. Thomas with a cross, and the flag's gone off. In any case, offside decision. But that was dragged across the goal mouth dangerously by Mitchell Thomas on the floor.
Glenn Hoddle absolutely superb. I mean, we've said that he's playing a little bit forward, more forward than perhaps he's played the rest of the season, but I mean, he's acting as a target man. They're hitting from all angles, and that time he's hit on the corner of the box. He's kept the ball in the air 2 or 3 touches, and then put a terrific little pass in at the end of it. Real top skill.
Glenn Hoddle, the artist, then won here in 81 and 82 with Tottenham after 15 years at White Hart Lane. Says he's off to the continent next season. It will certainly be a blow to Tottenham. You don't replace men of the calibre and the quality of Glenn Hoddle. Steve Hodge just below us, down the Tottenham left. Holds the ball, plays it to that man Hoddle. Early ball straight back to Hodge. Good tackle, though, coming in by Lloyd McGrath. And the ball is played back 25 yards to Striva Grizovic. Played well apart from one awful mistake 5 minutes before half-time that allowed Tottenham to get the second goal. Bounced off Mabbott. He'll claim it quite correctly. But Coventry still came back, and that superb diving header by Keith Houchin. Cross coming in from Bennett. So Bennett scored one, set up the second, as the ball is halfway inside the Tottenham half. Hodge is there. Plays the ball, Allen. Paul Allen, that is, cousin of Clive. Moves just inside the Coventry half, then slows it down a little bit, then starts to come in field, plays it to Clive. Clive Allen plays it back, and the ball is 5 yards outside the Coventry penalty area with Waddle. Waddle holds, down stays with him. He's got Houghton outside him. He still prefers to go it alone, though, does Waddle, and in the end it was a foul, I think, by Downs, says the linesman. Referee agrees. So it's a free kick, a couple of yards in from the far touchline, the Tottenham right, and Waddle looks as if he's going to take it. Always looks tired. Always looks as if he's been out for about 4 nights, does Waddle. But what an effective player he's been for Spurs this season. Here he comes, lazily. Takes the free kick, headed away, though, by Phillips, only as far as Ardiles. Little ball to Hoddle. Hoddle's halfway inside the Coventry half. Left-footed, high inside the area. Goff is there. Chance for Allen. Can't get there. But always a dangerous sign for any defence with Clive Allen hungry for his 50th goal of the season. We have got 13 minutes to go here. It's 2 apiece, and then, of course, if the scoreline remains the same, we've got extra time, and that's where fatigue can be absolutely cruel. And I still think the noisier side at the moment are Coventry. The supporters away to our right. As the ball is played forward inside the Tottenham half. No danger, though, for Clements, and Goff lets the ball run on to his goalkeeper. Houghton holds the ball, slows it down, a couple of yards in from the far touchline, then a 25-yard ball forward. Looking for Glenn Hoddle. Alongside him, who else? Lloyd McGrath, Birmingham-born, and his job this afternoon, the Under-21 International, was to stay as a shadow to Hoddle. He's done that well, but despite the marking by Lloyd McGrath, Hoddle's look what he is, sheer class. He'll take the throw now, 10 yards from the Coventry corner flag, down the Tottenham right. Waddle to Hoddle. Plays the ball inside the penalty area. Hodge spins away. Cross comes in. Clive Allen over the top. 5 yards out. Hodge was there. Turned the defender. Cross came in. Allen over the bar.
Time that run to the near post once more. Clive Allen's absolutely exceptional at that near post run. He seems to wait and wait and wait. He virtually waits till the ball's on its way into the near post. He gets in his run, and then it's just a touch, a header, a glancing header or a touch. That one was to his feet. It could have gone in as easy as it went wide.
Well, I'm sure Father Les, who won a Cup Winners' Cup medal here in 1961 with Spurs, who were pleased certainly with Clive's opening goal after 2 minutes. He'd have been even more pleased if he could have nicked one there, because with 11 minutes to go, had Tottenham take the lead, who knows? And they have a throw, far side, deep inside their own half. Houghton, the right back, will take it. He hasn't got too many options at the moment because all the white shirts of Tottenham are fairly heavily marked. He finds one, and that's Hoddle. Hoddle to Clive Allen. Read well by Brian Kilkine, the Coventry skipper. Bennett. Lovely to watch Bennett. Mitchell Thomas doesn't know whether to go north, south, east or west. Bennett plays it wide. Phillips. Bad cross from Phillips. Swings over the top of the crossbar. But he's got such skill on this boy, isn't he, Dave Bennett?
That's right. I mean, once he gets the ball and they're underway, I mean, he's one of the best in the game. He's as good as Chrissy Waddle when he's taking them on. It's service. It's about service, Peter. If there's not somebody giving him the ball, he can't do it. Perhaps that's why he hasn't been in the game enough in this cup final. I mean, because every time he's at it, he looks as though he's going to create something.
Man who scored the important goal against Leeds in extra time in the semi-final, brought them to Wembley. And he's nosed defeat here. When he played for Manchester City, Dave Bennett, he lost, yes, to Spurs back in 1981. He's shown something like his real qualities in the last 20 minutes, and we've got 10 minutes to go. Coventry 2, Tottenham 2. Tottenham have the possession. Waddle jinks and turns and tries the shot. Well, this time it was on. It was about a yard wide in the end, and Oguzovic's just got a touch to that, and that'll be a corner. He's wasted 3 or 4 of those in the first half, but that was worth it by the old Newcastle man. And it's a corner then to Tottenham Hotspur, and that man Waddle will take it himself. Near side to us, down the left. Great noise, 4 goals, 2 apiece, Coventry and Tottenham. Waddle with the corner to the far post. There's Mabbott. He climbs enormously high. That's one thing that's always impressed Ron Greenwood, how high Mabbott can jump for a small man. As the cross will come in, and that, I think, could be a goal kick. Yes, Neil Midgley right there. Some of the Spurs players claiming the corner, but doesn't he half climbed on?
Talking about Gary Mabbott, yes. I mean, in my day, I used to play football with Billy Wright, who was exactly like Gary Mabbott, and a very similar player. He used to play midfield, went back to centre-back in kind of in his later years. But I'll tell you what, it's absolutely fantastic, the power they've got in the legs to get to the height they do get.
8.5 minutes to go. Regis, halfway inside the Spurs half. Regis is still there. Can he get the shot in? He can't. He's challenged well by Houghton. Regis is still there. Cross comes in. Clements half saves it. Regis still there. Mabbott's there. Clements falls on it. Tottenham live dangerously, and it's still 2-2.
Well, it again, I mean, this is what I've been saying. I mean, Cyril Regis has got to play down the middle. Every time he looks as though he's going to get in, he's like a beacon to hit from the back. Anybody can hit him, from any one of the back 4 players can hit him, and when he is there, once he gets on his way as well, he's hard to stop. I mean, he was unlucky there. I mean, the Coventry end here thought it was a penalty.
Well, at that stage, Ardiles, who was helping out, fell to the ground in extreme pain, and indeed he's rolled himself across the goal line now to be looked at by John Sheridan, the physiotherapist, and Ozzy Ardiles looks in some considerable trouble with 8 minutes to go here. The feeling was that Ozzy, who's had a great season and surprised so many, might perhaps not last the 90 minutes. And who knows, it could be a chance for Nico Klaassen or Gary Stevens to come on at 2-2. Hoddle through the gap. Paul Allen. Good tackle from Peake again. He's done so well. He really has. A quiet player, efficient, thorough, always there when he's wanted. As Coventry give the ball away. Goff finds Chris Waddle. Waddle comes inside, a half-hearted challenge. He strides forward. Waddle plays it through the gap. Oguzovich comes off his line, saves well, and Waddle goes crashing to the ground in front of a hedge of photographers away to the left. We've got 7 minutes to go here.
Peter,
Coventry City 2, Tottenham 2. Don.
These 2 right wingers, one or the other is going to win the game for their team, without a doubt. These 2 right wingers, Bennett or Waddle.
Well, there speaks the England man, Don Howe. I wonder if he could be right. That certainly reads the game well, because Bennett's been tearing pieces down the right for Coventry in the second half. Almost anonymous in the first half, which seems unfair because he scored the goal. And Waddle's been doing the same down the right for Tottenham. Could these 2, or either of them, win the game for their side? Here's the man, Mabbott. He's charging inside the Coventry half. Till Klein, good tackle on Mabbott. But I think they both hurt each other in that. Mabbott's gone down until Klein's gone down, and they both seem to be in some trouble. So George Dalton, the Coventry physio, comes on as well now as John Sheridan. That was rather an awkward tackle by Brian Kilcline. I'm sure Neil Midgley will give a free kick. Both players, though, down on the ground.
Peter, Glenn Hoddle, I mean, where is he? I mean, people have talked about Glenn Hoddle this year, and why is he a better player, and why is it all the continental clubs are queuing up for him? You know where he's improved? He's improved because he accepts man-for-man marking now. It was a problem a few years ago. A few years ago, you could put a man on him, you could get him out of the game. Now he knows how to cope with man-for-man marking. I mean, he's got young Lloyd McGrath, who's a hell of a good player for his age. But what he's doing with him, he's running him upfield away from the ball, checking off, coming back, receiving the ball, turning the fella on the turn, taking the ball and turning the man. He's doing everything. That's why he can go and play on the continent now. That's why he can play man-for-man against man-for-man and sweepers. That's why he's become the player we all thought he would become.
There you are, great summing up then of the qualities of Glenn Hoddle. Both players are now on their feet, but Brian Kilcline, the Coventry captain, looks to be in more trouble than Gary Mabbutt, the man he fouled, and they certainly couldn't do without Kilcline in what could be a vital last 5 minutes or so of this 90 minutes here at Wembley. He's so important to them, Kilcline, massive man, and he was a bargain buy at some £60,000 from Notts County. So we wait for the free kick, and there may be a little time added on now in this second half by Neil Midgley. The free kick is about halfway inside the Coventry half, and indeed Midgley is calling Kilcline over to point out that it was a fairly strong challenge, to put it mildly, on Mabbutt. Mabbutt still in a little bit of bother.
The referee did exactly right there, Peter, because what he's done, although the lad injured himself, he went for a ball he couldn't get, and he could have injured Gary Mabbutt quite seriously. But what he's done is let him have his treatment, and now he's got at him and sorted him out. It's dead right.
Good refereeing by Neil Midgley as Waddle takes the free kick then high inside the Coventry area, looking for Richard Gough, his captain, coming in on the right. Coventry break. Regis, panther-like, inside the centre circle. Ginn screams for it, gets it, down the Coventry left. Houghton stays with him. Ginn's gone inside. Good tackle from Ardiles, who's back on his feet. Tiny figure of Ginn. Lays it back to his left back, Downs. Downs, square. Finds Phillips. The shot will come in. Collides with a defender. Hoddle's there, and he's going to try and set up Tottenham. Ball laid to Clive Allen down the Tottenham left. He's got Paul Allen inside him, doesn't use him. Uses Mitchell Thomas instead. Clive Allen goes through the gap, challenged by Pickering. Clive Allen falls to the ground. Pickering picks up the loose ball, plays it back to Ogrizovic. We've got 3.5 minutes of 90 minutes to go. Coventry City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Ogrizovic will not get rid of the ball too quickly. Almost on his own penalty spot. High drops just inside the Tottenham half. Mabbutt's lost it. Mitchell Thomas clears it. And I see both the Coventry substitutes below us have taken off their tracksuits. That's Graham Rodger and Steve Sedgley. Are they going to be used in the last, what is now 3 minutes of 90 minutes? Although Neil Midgley, as I say, may add a little time on. A couple of stoppages in the second half. It's 2-2 here in a marvellous cup final. Mabbutt to Waddle. Slows it down. Stands on the ball. The police constabulary walk down the touchline below us. A sure sign we're coming towards the end of a game. But here it might well be extra time. Nobody would mind. It's been that sort of cup final. Waddle at walking pace. Then suddenly darts forward. Puts it onto his right. Puts it onto his left. Plays it to Hodge. Hodge lays it wide down the right. Houghton waits for it for Tottenham. He's slowed it down to a walking pace. Ardiles runs for him. He doesn't feed Ardiles. Finds Hoddle. And he finds Paul Allen. Out to Houghton. Houghton holds it. Cross comes in from Houghton. Clive Allen's there. Shot comes in. Ogrizovic saves it. He doesn't know how, but he saved it.
That near post run again, Peter. Clive Allen, super timing of that run. Got on the end of that one. Had to turn to get his shot in. I was talking about Ardiles. We're talking about this substitution situation. And there's lots of times this year where Tottenham have took Ozzy off in the last 15 minutes. You know, the old player, his legs are gone. But I tell you what, today, there's no way he can do that today. He's made some fantastic last-minute tackling situations inside his own box. He's working as hard as any other Tottenham player.
Well, there are cheers at the moment from the Coventry supporters because Brian Kilcline, who was clearly badly injured a moment ago, the captain comes off the field, and clearly George Curtis, John Sillett Limited, have decided not to risk him, Don, in the closing minutes.
Yes, well, he really virtually injured himself going for a ball, really. He shouldn't have gone for.
So Kilcline, rather a sad figure then, limps off, sits on the bench below us, puts his tracksuit top on, and Tottenham take the corner. It's high, it's dropping inside the Coventry area. Mabbutt's there, spring-heeled, to try and get hold of it. Ball is cleared. Ardiles comes back before Cyril Regis can get a hold of it and look for a quick break. Mitchell Thomas. Not a good ball from him. Peake picks it up, lays it forward, looking again for the break themselves. Paul Allen is there. And with Dave Bennett breathing down his neck, does the simple, sensible thing, plays it 20 yards back to Clements. Wembley flooded with sunshine again. And we're now, by my watch, in the last minute of 90 minutes, with possibly a little time added on. And then that punishing, cruel 30 minutes of extra time. Clements, long clearance. Downs the left back underneath it. Ball drops loose to Paul Allen. Peake is there, covering up. Plays it right. Welsh international. Phillips. David Phillips to Bennett. Bennett. And Bennett is fouled rather clumsily by Steve Hodge. He can be a bit naughty in the tackle, Steve Hodge, from time to time. Good player. And Coventry have a free kick, which could be perhaps their last assault of the official 90 minutes, because by my watch we're now 2 seconds into injury time, and Dave Phillips, the right back, will take the free kick for Coventry, a yard in from the near touchline, about 5 yards inside the Tottenham half. Takes it with his right foot, sweeps it out to the far touchline, played square again, looking for Bennett. Bennett's come away from the defender. Now then the cross, and this time it was a bad cross. He knows it, puts his head in his hands, because that spelt danger yet again, Don, didn't it?
Yeah, he did well. I mean, the ball comes in, he's got his back to goal, he's turned and gone out towards the right wing, and for some unknown reason at the end of it, he didn't get the right type of crossing. It's behind the bar, wasted cross.
We're now 40 seconds into injury time here, and it looks like extra time. Coventry 2, Tottenham 2, Tottenham taking the lead twice, and Coventry coming back twice. No one-sided affair this, you can be sure, against the favourites and the informed team. That's Bennett again. This time gets it wrong, though. Mitchell Thomas reads him, the left back, and the ball is finally played down the line. It was an illegal challenge, though, and it'll be a free kick to Tottenham. Hodge wants to take it quickly, but Dave Bennett stands in his way. And now Mitchell Thomas will take it, who followed, of course, David Pleat from Luton down to White Hart Lane. And the ball laid all the way back this time to Ogrizovic. And now, of course, any mistake that brought a goal would be cruel to whichever side gave it away. And we are a minute and a half into injury time, most of that, I'm sure, added on by Neil Midgley for the fairly lengthy stoppage when Brown Kilcline fouled Mabbott, and as a result Kilcline is now off the field. Ball on the halfway line, played into touch. Can they keep it in play? Yes, they can. Phillips again, bad ball though, cut out by Ardiles. Mitchell Thomas, well, not really a good ball from Mitchell Thomas, and Neil Midgley will blow the whistle, and we'll go then into extra time. The statistics briefly: Clive Allen after 2 minutes, Tottenham 1-0. 6 minutes later, Dave Bennett, it's 1-1. 5 minutes before half-time, a defensive mistake, and Gary Mabbott, without knowing what he was doing, made it 2-1. And then a superb header by Keith Houchin, 18 minutes into the second half. We move into injury time. Now comes the testing time, because after 90 minutes, it's Coventry City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2.
Non-stop action here at Wembley, and it's not over yet. Bobby Gould and Martin Chivers, a comment from you on what has been a tremendous final.
It's been a wonderful final. We all knew that both teams would come and attack, and they played tremendous football. Interesting that half, Renton, that Coventry's 4 attempts on goal were all headers, and especially that vital goal by Keith Houchin. Wonderful cross from David Bennett.
They came as underdogs, but they've certainly tormented their Spurs on occasion.
Yes, well, I think we all knew about that, no way that John Sillett and George Curtis, who were down there motivating, getting the players who were all sat down on the pitch there to just relax before they go into a traumatic 30 minutes.
Martin.
But it's come to that extra time now. I'm looking at Wadler just at the moment and wondering if he can keep going, because he was the ace in the pack as far as I was concerned.
I've made a substitution. Gary Stevens has come on for Ozzy Ardiles, midfield man for midfield man. Then, in fact, Stevens is standing at the moment right in the centre of the Spurs midfield. Ardiles, who did go down with an injury about 15 minutes from time, as Spurs start this first period of extra time then, and Spurs will be attacking the goal away to our right. So this is just the way it all started at 3 o'clock, with Spurs, of course, scoring inside the first 2 minutes when they were attacking this end. Spurs at the moment going down the far side, and in with a clattering tackle is the Coventry substitute, Graham Rodger. So throw to Spurs, 20 yards out, far side, Mitchell Thomas. Beautiful, beautiful warm sunshine now here, lighting up Wembley. 2-2 after 90 minutes, just like Coventry's semi-final against Leeds. But then in extra time, Coventry went on to sneak it through Dave Bennett, 3-2 on that occasion. And Coventry waited 104 years for a taste of this, and now they're going into overtime. Spurs at the moment pressing though, with throw-ins down the far side. This one's about 15 yards out, and Steve Hodge, the man to take it, as Richard Gough makes a late run towards the penalty area. Spurs find Hoddle on the left, trying to get his cross in, but being closed down all the time by Lloyd McGrath, who then jumps with Hoddle, and Hoddle is adjudged to have pushed McGrath. Free kick to Coventry. And Don, just very briefly putting your England cap on very quickly, the last thing that you and Bobby Robson would want is first of all perhaps extra time here, and then a replay, because there are 6 England players.
Yes, the replay.
In this
Yeah, the replay is the problem, really. I mean, naturally, if they replay, they can't play against Brazil, and we have got players in the England team now. People like Stevie Hodge and Glenn Hoddle and all these who are, part of our system. We've been building on them over the last few years. But then again, we have to go on with it. That's, league football and FA Cup football sometimes comes first. What I would say, Mike, is this is before the game. I think most people predicting that it would be a pretty high-scoring game. And all the talk this week has been about the right backs because of the injuries. But I'll tell you what, it's about the left backs, because they've had the biggest problems.
And the 2 key men, in other words, Bennett and Waddle, perhaps in this period of extra time. 2-2 between Coventry and Spurs. Brian Kilcline, by the way, the Coventry captain, who went off just before the end of normal time, a thigh injury after his foul on Gary Mabbott. So that's the reason that young 20-year-old Graham Rodger is on. Spurs with Stevens in midfield, waiting for his first touch still. And Spurs on the ball, on this near side, the right. Chris Waddle, once again, trying to torment Greg Downs. All left foot stuff from him, but Downs in the end makes the interception, plays a rather dangerous one square, edge of his own penalty area. Coventry are battling to get away, and now they possibly can through Mickey Ginn, sprinting through the centre circle. He's got support left and right, but he can't find. There's a little tired Mickey Ginn there, couldn't find Nick Pickering, which was the obvious ball on the left, and now Spurs going through the centre circle through Paul Allen. So perhaps not a question of the most talented team now, but perhaps the fittest team. Stevens does get his first bit of action. Coming on for Ardiles. Can't find Clive Allen. Mass defence from Coventry. The impressive Trevor Peake was there for them. Really has had a magnificent match, and even more onus on him now without Brian Kilcline. He's going to have to see young Graham Rodger through extra time as Spurs come forward again through Gary Mabbott. A great burst by Mabbott. Coventry looking strong though again. Edge of their own penalty area. But not a lot of pace at the moment as they're trying to break. And now Houchin finds Lloyd McGrath in an advanced position. He's got Bennett spare on the right. And now it's Bennett against Mitchell Thomas as Coventry raid down the right. Bennett is just inside the area, slides the ball in off Hodges' back, and Coventry City start this extra time, 3.5 minutes gone by, winning a corner kick over on the far side. Spurs have taken the lead twice in this final, but still it's 2-2, and you remember that when they won the cup earlier in the 80s, in 81 and 82, on both occasions they were taken to replays against Manchester City and Queen's Park Rangers. Coventry City corner. Ginn just taps it to Bennett, a short corner. Ginn looking as if he wants it back from Bennett, but Bennett's going all the way, thunders his cross in, and it's not in fact going to go behind for a goal kick. It's going to fall on this near side for a Tottenham Hotspur throw, and John Sheridan again, the physio's off his line, because I think he thought that Steve Hodge had picked up a knock, but Hodge is okay. It's twice Hodges looked a little gingerly, but he's okay, and Spurs have got a throw, but still in a position of some danger here, deep in defence, away to our left on this near side, the Tottenham right. Chris Hughton takes it, Chris Waddle comes for it. Waddle looking as if he wants to put it back to Ray Clements in the goal, but he keeps play moving, plays it to his left square, Mitchell Thomas. Mitchell Thomas about 15 yards to the left to Steve Hodge. Hodge playing now as an orthodox left winger, trying his luck against Dave Phillips, halfway inside the Coventry half. Still Hodge on the ball. He's got support from Paul Allen. Still Hodge, and in the end he perhaps overran it. Greg Downs made an important interception, and Coventry scuttling forward again. Houchin, centre circle, socks down, looking tired, but manages to slip it wide to Bennett again. Another opportunity for Coventry's Bennett now. Bennett, who's made a goal and scored one himself. Still Coventry pressing down the right. Dave Phillips, the right back, a flat ball. Gets it back though off Gary Stevens, and this time a little bit more elevation. Richard Gough misjudges it in the air. Regis goes in, heads it forward. Nick Pickering brushes the cross. It's still in play. And Spurs, who I think they thought that ball was going to go out, that the ball was going to go out, still Spurs having to defend in the penalty area. And now they've managed to carry the ball some distance from goal, and they've set up Hoddle over on the far side. Lovely ball from Hoddle for Paul Allen. Full of running still, Paul Allen. But there was the substitute for Coventry, Graham Rodger, looking tall and composed. And a beautiful ball as well to Lloyd McGrath, and Coventry really finding space on the right now. McGrath turns the cross in. Oh, it's an own goal! An own goal by Tottenham's Gary Mabbutt. As Lloyd McGrath broke on the right. Gary Mabbutt, the unfortunate England player who scored a goal for Spurs just before half-time, suffers the heartbreak of turning the ball past his own helpless goalkeeper, Ray Clements. All the Spurs players have gone to Gary Mabbutt to pat him on the head and to encourage him, because he's one of the most popular men in football. But the reality here is that with 6 minutes gone in this first period of extra time, an own goal by Gary Mabbutt means that Coventry are in front for the first time in this 1987 final. It's now Coventry City 3, Tottenham 2.
Well, what happened there was, it was a nice, the positive side of man-to-man marking, Mike. That means, although McGrath has been marking Glenn Hoddle, virtually following him around the pitch, going wherever he's gone, every time Coventry have had the ball, he's broke away from him.
Spurs, though, immediately and typically trying to get back, as we'll just break in there, Don. But a good, crisp tackle by Dave Phillips, thwarting them on the left. And Nico Klaassen, just before Spurs restarted this final, has come on, and there's no pacier player in the game than Nico Klaassen, which is perhaps exactly what Spurs want now. Klaassen comes on. Gary Stevens has gone back. Spurs take a throw over on the far side. And it's still edge of the penalty area stuff from Spurs. On the right, Chris Waddle and Paul Allen are there, and Chris Waddle still has it. Position, though, which Coventry will be reasonably content with because it's deep. Then Waddle's cross comes in. Agrozovic punches it clear. Paul Allen, handball, in the semicircle. The referee spotted it. And Nico Klaassen, Don, has come on, and perhaps he must be the top substitute to have in Europe, a proven goal scorer. He's come on with another 8 minutes of this first period of extra time, then 15 more, of course.
Yes, well, they're just going back really to a fairly straightforward formation. Is that Gary Stevens now has dropped out of midfield into the right back position where Chris Hooton was. Classens is now going to play up with Clive Allen. They're virtually going to play a kind of a 4-4-2.
So Chris Hooton has gone off. Nico Klaassen has come on. Ozzy Ardiles has gone off. Gary Stevens has come on. FA Cup final history has been made here. The first time 2 substitutes ever used in an FA Cup final. But Spurs now are trailing 3-2. Good advantage played by the referee as Coventry try to break again. It was a break that was on, and Lloyd McGrath was involved in setting up that third Coventry City goal. But nobody really likes to see any player subjected to that kind of heartbreak, and poor old Gary Mabbutt turning it past Ray Clements. A goal at each end. Spurs free kick. Hoddle takes it. Richard Goff can't get there. McGrath doesn't really clear it properly, and it falls to Paul Allen 30 yards out. In space he finds Glenn Hoddle on the right. Hoddle's cross, beautifully cleared by Pete for Coventry, who really is throwing by the minute here for Coventry at the back. He really has had a magnificent match, Pete. And now Coventry breaking again through Dave Bennett. Bennett's got Gin in space. 25 yards out on the right. Gin tries to go around Richard Goff, and he's obstructed clearly by Richard Goff there. Barged over 20 yards out from goal. Nicky Gin will pick himself up. Neil Midgley will perhaps have a quiet word with Richard Goff. It's going to be a Coventry City free kick, and all 5 goals really in this final have come from crosses. 4 from the right, 1 from the left, and poor Gary Mabbutt got on the end of that cross involuntarily from Lloyd McGrath just 6 minutes into extra time and diverted the ball past Ray Clements. And Coventry City, in their first ever FA Cup final, are getting closer to their first ever FA Cup triumph, and Spurs to their first ever defeat. A Coventry free kick now, just a yard or so outside of the penalty area. It's Phillips who hits it off Glenn Hoddle's shin for a Coventry City throw, far side of the field. Coventry taking Plenty of time over this one. Steve Sedgley, their other substitute, is down there at the moment, just having words with John Phillip and George Curtis on the bench. 3-2 to Coventry. Throw-in taken. Regis trying to get on the end of it. Regis looking powerful and strong. Keeps the Coventry possession moving. Finds Bennett, and now Phillips again on the right. Another cross coming in from Coventry on the right. Pickering can't get there. Spurs beat it away, but it's falling to the blue and white stripes the whole time. Constant Coventry possession at the moment. 3-2 ahead they are, just like the semi-final now against Leeds. And Bennett on the right for them, teasing Thomas. Bennett slips it to Houchin. Houchin's cross shot. Ray Clements down on his right. Not only makes the save, but dives at Regis's feet. And Spurs sweep the ball quickly to this near side. And Nico Clarkson tries to get his first bit of activity, but he can't get the ball. Between them, Ginn and McGrath, and now Peake are there. And Coventry sensibly going back to their goalkeeper, and why not?
Lloyd McGrath now, he seems to have because Glenn Hoddle's got more responsibility now to have to go back into midfield. He will look at him, but I think Lloyd McGrath now is going to virtually put himself around to tackle any of the Tottenham side who come through.
A goal at each end then by Tottenham's bionic man Gary Mabbutt, and Coventry City are leading here by 3-2 in extra time at Wembley. And we're coming already to the end of this first period of extra time, and Spurs, all in white, will have to do something now. Nico Clarkson, inside right channel, looking pacey, Nico Clarkson. But who's there for Coventry? Peake again, magnificent interception. And Coventry find Regis about 10 yards from his own halfway line. No way forward for Regis. He has to go back, and now Coventry looking to find some width, and they spread it wide to the right to Dave Bennett, looking full of running still, Dave Bennett. He's got Dave Phillips, the right back, going down the right, and Phillips is there. Phillips, an early cross, over the bar, wide, goal kick to Spurs, disappointing finish.
Young Graham Roberts has done a hell of a good job since he's come on for Coventry as well. I mean, you would think a boy of his experience would come on and he'd be a little bit worried about it, but I'll tell you what, he's fitted in absolutely tremendously. Done a smashing job.
I wonder whether Graham Rodgers started this week thinking that all this was going to happen, because, of course, logically, if Burrows had played, I don't think he would have been one of the substitutes today. It would have been Sedgley and Mickey Ginn. And Graham Rodgers come on and is doing very well against the Football League's top marksman, Clive Allen. It's Coventry 3-2. An own goal from Gary Mabbutt has put them in front here for the very first time. One of their goal scorers, Dave Bennett, is now just inside the Spurs half. Going down the right again. Mitchell Thomas having to keep his eye on the ball here, not committing himself. Helping out Bennett now down the right is Nick Pickering. Pickering plays the ball to feet to Houchin, just on the edge of the Spurs penalty area. A lot of Coventry possession here, inviting Spurs to come and get it. And now Bennett again in the area. Real opportunities here for Bennett. Can't get his shot in though. And Gary Stevens is in to whisk it away from Lloyd McGrath. And it's almost opened up there for Dave Bennett. And surely, if he'd scored a fourth, that would have been the end for Spurs. But in the meantime now, Spurs are able to try to get back to make it 3-3 for Chris Waddle. But the man that Don was just talking about a few moments ago, Graham Rodger, is there to beat Chris Waddle. And Spurs have got a throw in just a couple of yards from the corner flag. And Chris Waddle looks as if he will take it. Extra time too in Scotland between Dundee United and St Mirren. And still no score. Here, with the halfway point of extra time approaching, it's going to be Coventry's cup unless Spurs can get back here. The latest Spurs cross coming in from the right is headed to the far side by Graham Rodger, and that will be in the shade over on the far side. A Tottenham Hotspur throw, and Steve Hodge urged forward to take it, but in the end leaving it for Gary Mabbutt, who's got a more powerful throw. Mabbutt's throw, Richard Gough trying to make a back header in the penalty area. Forced to Hoddle, 25 yards out. Lovely reverse ball from Hoddle, trying to set Waddle up at the far post. But between them, Downs and Agrizovic shepherding that ball out of play for a Coventry City goal kick. And we are approaching stoppage time in this first period of extra time. And Coventry City, twice behind here at Wembley, are in front now, 3-2. Their goals coming from Bennett, Houchin, and poor old Gary Mabbutt of Tottenham. There is no greater club servant than
the pull it round. We know we've still got 15 minutes to go, and that's important. What I've got to give credit for is the Coventry midfield, Peter. Lloyd McGrath, Nick Pickering, Mickey Ginn. Superb. Marking when they lose the ball, breaking when they get possession of the ball. Absolutely superb.
So we start what could be a historic second period of extra time, with Coventry leading by 3 goals to 2, and they have a little more than 14 minutes now to make some history for themselves. It's the greatest day in their history of 104 years. If they win it, it'll be unbelievable. Forget Lady Godiva, remember the cup final. But Tottenham are a class side, and they've got 14 minutes to do something about the situation themselves. There's Dave Bennett, little twinkle toes just below us. Holds the ball arrogantly, square infield. Good possession stuff here by Coventry, and somehow Hodgson's found the legs again. Goes down the right, gets the cross in. It was a bad and tired cross in the end. Goes over the goal line at Clemens's near post, who sprints to do it, and the ball doesn't go outside the air. In any case, it'll come all the way back. Who knows, it could well be the splendid Ray Clemens's last appearance at Wembley. He hopes not, but he's 38. Holds the ball. He'll get maximum distance from this kick. Long, deep inside the Coventry half. Picked up by Klaassen, one of the 2 substitutes. Again played forward by the second substitute, Gary Stevens. And the linesman's flag goes for an infringement, and it's a free kick to Coventry City.
Another tactical change, Peter, is Chrissy Waddle now. He's playing behind the front 2. He's playing just behind Paul Allen and Nico Klaassen. They've pushed Gary Stevens in down that right side to give him a little bit of width. And they're virtually playing, Tottenham have taken a chance and going to play 3 at the back. And Gary Stevens is going to have the responsibility of the right side.
Well, there's no better man for tactics than David Pleat. And as Don was saying, he's changing things, hoping that that's the secret. Ogrizovic finds the chest of Cyril Regis. Bennett, little flick ball, tries to find Regis, can't. But Regis now does get the loose ball down the right for Coventry. Again slows it down, keeps the possession. Don't give it away, say Coventry. Dave Phillips through the gap. Houchin, little Gin. Gin is there. Short square, Pickering. Little chip, good idea. But in the end, the ball goes just wide. And I've had news from Hampden Park that Dundee United have just had a goal disallowed. That'll please the Tannadice followers. So it's still 0-0 at Hampden Park. Extra time in the Scottish Cup final. Here we've had 3 minutes of the second period of extra time in an FA Cup final that'll be remembered for so many good things. It's 3-2 to Coventry. Hoddle finds little Klaassen down the right. 2 games for Belgium this season, 2 hat-tricks, 1 against Scotland. As the ball is still with Tottenham though. Waddle still keeps going. Hoddle, who always keeps going. Just outside the Coventry penalty, little chip forward. Idea was good, but Hodge, I don't think really had the legs for that. Great roar from the supporters to our right. Bennett and Mitchell Thomas. I think he'll go to bed tonight, make a wax image of Dave Bennett and stick pins in it all night. He's given him a terrible time in the second half. They keep the possession again. Phillips, 30 yards. Boos from the Tottenham supporters, but sensible thing to do, because now, Don, I know it's easy to say up here, now it's a question of keeping
possession. That's right. I mean, it says the legs. While they've got the ball, Tottenham can't have the ball. Tottenham can't equalise. They also made a tactical change. They've switched Lloyd McGrath away from Glenn Hoddle, and then now they've put him onto Waddle, because Waddle's playing this centre of the field position. They've taken Lloyd McGrath away and put him onto Waddle.
Well, there's only one, Davy Bennett, singing away to the right, but Tottenham are still battling here. They've got 11 minutes to get back in the game. They're 3-2 down, the first time in the match they've been down. And that, Gary Mabbutt, who's had such a wonderful game, he couldn't get out of the way, and it sliced off his leg and left really Ray Clemens with no chance at all. That was 6 minutes into extra time. Hoddle, challenged by Houchin. Hoddle gets there first, though. Plays the ball down, far side. And the cross doesn't come in, but it comes off the legs of Greg Downs, who didn't seem to like the linesman's decision that should be a corner. Looked like it certainly from here. Glenn Hoddle, expert at corners. Far side down the Tottenham right. We've had 5 minutes of extra time. It means we've got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes for Coventry to hold on. 10 minutes for Tottenham to come back into this final. Corner then, Hoddle has a long look. Again, that characteristic pose, puts his hands on his thighs, has a long look as if he's looking down the barrel of a rifle. Looks inside a crowded penalty area. Ogrizovic standing on his goal line, surrounded by his own blue and white striped defenders. It's 3-2 to Coventry. Hoddle now takes the corner, drops inside the penalty. Ogrizovic, a lovely punch. Bennett's there. Little overhead flick from him. And again, Coventry so quick to pick up the possession and look for the break. Jin's got to be careful, he's going to be offside. But Regis goes back to help out. Again, good tactical stuff. As the ball is laid back to Greg Downs, the left back. And then a long look, 30 yards. And he's looking for Pickering, who looks absolutely exhausted. But he'll run now until his legs fall off. Goff for Tottenham. Short square to his left. Mitchell Thomas starts to move forward. Then has to stop. He hasn't got many options there. Indeed has to play it back to Mabbutt. Mabbutt to Mitchell Thomas. Thomas 20 yards forward. Clive Allen not seen much of the ace striker in the second half, although he did score 2 minutes into the game that gave him a great start. There's the man Roger, the substitute, going forward, and he's still got the ball. Plays it square. Bennett holds, little flicks and little twiddles and turns, and down he goes. And there was really nothing else Mabbutt could do there except throw him over the top of the stand. So it's a free kick to Coventry City, and there's danger for Tottenham Hotspur. It's about 4 or 5 yards, no more, outside the Tottenham penalty area. Almost centre field, perhaps slightly to the right as Coventry look at it. Clements making sure the wall is right, prowling on his goal line. We've had 6.5 minutes of the second period of extra time. Coventry 3, Tottenham 2. Still waiting. Pickering's there, Bennett's there, to Bennett. Downs with a free kick in the end. Cannons, though, off Gary Stevens. But still Coventry with the possession. The cross comes in from Dave Phillips. Long to the far post. Still inside the area. Mabbutt tussling for it. Ball still on the edge of the area. And the substitute Roger comes to try and help things out. It's left with Cyril Regis. Again, nice slow build-up. Finds Jin. Jin runs across the face of the Tottenham penalty. Takes the shot. Yard wide. With Clements 2 yards off his line.
This young boy has come on as sub. I tell you what, I've got some confidence, young Graham Roger. He's breaking out from the back, he's getting involved in the game, he's getting on the ball, he's pushing it around. Looks as though he's got all his experience and understanding, yet he's just a young boy.
Yes, young Graham Roger. But Molyneux didn't actually play any games in the first team, born in Glasgow and showing fighting spirit. And we have got now 8 minutes of this cup final remaining in extra time. Coventry 3, Tottenham 2. As Downs turns and plays it sensibly, 25 yards back to Ogrizovic, who will be in no great hurry. And should they win this game, he'll breathe a great sigh of relief, the Coventry goalkeeper, because he was very much at fault 5 minutes before half-time and allowed Gary Mabbutt, although he didn't know it, to score Tottenham's second goal, which made it 2-1 at half-time. As Gary Stevens tries his luck down the far side. Down the outside right position, cross comes in from Stevens. Ball inside the area. Clive Allen tries the shot. Falls as he shoots straight into the arms in the end of Ogrizovic. And news of the first goal of the afternoon up at Hampden Park. St Mirren have taken the lead in extra time against Dundee United. St Mirren 1, Dundee United 0. That also, let me remind you, in extra time. Here we have got a little less than 7 minutes of extra time remaining in the 1987 FA Cup final. And Coventry City away to our right, a sea of pale blue and white. It's the sky blues at the moment, but Tottenham go forward. Huddle plays it over the top, looks for Klaassen. Good brave stuff again by Peake as Klaassen came burrowing in there, little torpedo of a man. And Ogrizovic takes time, has a look at the ball, has a look at the manufacturer's name, I've no doubt, counts the seams in the ball, takes as much time as he can. The seconds tip away gloriously for Coventry City at the moment. Ogrizovic with the kick. A miss hit by Mitchell Thomas lets in Cyril Regis, but he has to play the ball back to Bennett. And Bennett back to Dave Phillips, the right back. And Brian Burrows will be watching, I've no doubt, from his hospital bed after his knee operation yesterday. Hold on to the knee, Brian. Hold on to your hat, because Coventry could be making little history here, although you would have wanted very much to have been here. Regis, Bennett, good skill by Bennett. Regis, back to Phillips on the halfway line. And then Phillips plays it down the touchline and Bennett's fractionally offside. There's a white balloon on the pitch as well at the moment. One ball sufficient, I think, to end this one with 5 minutes to go. What a day it would be for the two old Coventry men themselves, George Curtis and John Stillett, who've made it a great season, the best season ever for Coventry. But Tottenham have the possession. Strong figure and fresh, of course, one of the substitutes, Gary Stevens. Holds the ball, plays the ball through the gap, and then gets the return ball. Can he get through? He can't. Good covering again by Peake. Finds his left back Downs. remember Bobby Robson saying a few weeks ago what a great man Gary Stevens is. No complaints that he's on the substitutes bench for England. Happy to be there. As the ball from Waddle straight into the arms of Ogrizovic, and the cheers from the Coventry supporters, you'd think Ogrizovic was player of the year. Held the ball, takes a little time, which he's allowed to do quite legally. We have a little less than 4 minutes to go here at Wembley on a sun-filled and sometimes cloudy afternoon, and the strong favourites Tottenham are 3-2 down. Up in Scotland, St Mirren lead Dundee United 1-0 in extra time, as Bennett, little juggling from Bennett, Phillips down the line, cut out easily there by Mabbott, who scored twice, but one was the wrong one. Ball to the gap, a chance for Jim here, and Jim for Coventry, inside the area, he's beaten Clement. Oh, great save by Clements. Little Nicky Jim was going to make it definite then, and Clements showing all his experience. It seemed that Jim had got round him. Great save there, Don.
Yeah, that's good goalkeeping. I mean, Nicky Jim once more has made that break right through the centre of defence, kept his head all the way, seemed to do all the right things. You've got to give Ray Clements a lot of credit. He made a terrific save at the end of it.
Because with 3.5 minutes to go, another one then for Coventry, and that would have been curtains for Tottenham Hotspur. As it is, they're still in it, but they're 3-2 down, and the ball is in their half. Mabbott, long clearance from Mabbott. Peake is underneath it. Ball inside the centre circle. Bennett's there again. Bennett plays it short and square, gets the return ball, still inside his own half. He's got to be a little bit careful here. Plays the ball back. Graham Rodger, the man who's impressed us so much. He came on as a substitute for the injured Brian Kilcline, and that could have been a severe blow for Coventry. And ironically, it was in an illegal tackle on Gary Mabbott that resulted in Kilcline having to come off with his injury. And Clive Allen stands alongside Ogrizovic, praying that he'll drop the ball, but he doesn't. Hodge underneath it. Waddle goes into challenge, drops to Hoddle. Hoddle sweeps the ball out to the far side, the Tottenham right. Ball inside the area, and the referee has seen a foul by Klaassen. So it's a free kick to Coventry City, who now have 2.5 minutes to make it the best day in their history. It certainly was going to be the most glorious day, whatever happened. But it could now be the best day in their history. The side, remember, who had their great times in 61 to 66, and they finally reached the First Division. And they've stayed there ever since. They've struggled most times, mind you, but they stayed there. But can they stay here now over the last 2 minutes? Gary Stevens going strong. Plays the ball to Klaassen, going down the right. The cross will come in. The header also comes in, and it's cleared. And Richard Gough was in there for the kill for Tottenham. Dave Bennett going down the right. Silky skills. Infield finds Regis. Mitchell Thomas comes in to take it away from Regis. Plays it back to Gary Mabbott. 1.5 minutes to go. Mabbott, long clearance. Headed away by Rodger. Linesman's flag goes up. Offside. Free kick then to Coventry. And Lloyd McGrath plays it back to David Phillips, who plays it back to Steve Ogrizovic, who holds the ball carefully. Throws it out to Rodger. Back to Ogrizovic. Nothing wrong with those tactics when you're 3-2 up. 60 seconds to go here. Coventry City 3. Tottenham Hotspur 2. Regis. And he's seen a foul by Regis, Neil Midgley. So Tottenham take the free kick. Far side, Gary Stevens. Down the right. Long ball from Gary Stevens. Gough with the header. Peake underneath it for Coventry. Gin clears. Regis plays it back to Bennett. Chests the ball down the line. Regis holds it, slips it through the gap. Bennett going forward. Back heel. Gin. Regis. The Coventry supporters are loving this. This is the bull and the matador again. Phillips through the gap, spoils the chain though, gives it away. We have got 10 seconds to go here at Wembley. Mitchell Thomas reaps the ball. Gough's going forward like a regular number 9 now. Why not? Nothing else to lose. Hoddle. Ball breaks to Paul Allen. Paul Allen on the edge of the penalty area. Klaassen looking for little Belgian fireworks. He can't find it. He's still got the possession. What a finish. What a finish here at Wembley. 3-2 to Coventry. But in injury time of extra time. Tottenham have the possession. Waddle lays it left. Ball is cleared. Huddle tries the shot. Takes a deflection. Ogrizovic is there. Holds the ball. Stands in the sunshine. Any second now, Neil Lidgley will blow his whistle. And Coventry City will go absolutely crackers. Ogrizovic. Long clearance. High. They've gone crackers. They've won it. 3-2. And George Curtis and John Phillips have finished a marvellous, marvellous season. And the Sky Blues are the cup holders. Don Howe.
That's a terrific win for Coventry. I mean, having been kind of behind twice in the cup final, a lot of people can drop their heads under those circumstances and virtually say, well, let's get off the pitch, that's the end of it. But they've picked themselves up, they kept going. They've had so many heroes.